with Small Business Saturday on November 25th. Take in the dazzling sights of the season with a Ladue Christmas at Ladue Topiary Gardens. Enjoy holiday lights, sing along to holiday songs, reserve a carriage ride, and sit on Santa's lap in Bel Air's Winter Wonderland, happening every Saturday from November 25th until December 16th. Nothing sparks that holiday joy quite like a festive parade. Head to visithartford.com and click on Events to see the full list of parades and so much more. In Maryland, you're welcome.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Hey Ravens fans, looking for the perfect new game day brew? Get a Guilford, Baltimore's finest craft beer during the next home game at the Bank. That's not all. Gather your flock next home game and check out Calvert Hall Brewery's brand new bar, the Gilly Nest, located near Section 505. No tickets? No problem. Enjoy all Ravens games all season long at our restaurant and brewery in Station North. Calvert Hall Brewery, European tradition, Baltimore charm.
Sure, Glenn may be in his 40s now, but he looks just as good as he ever has, and he's still as sharp as he ever was. And I say both those things without even a shred of irony. Find out for yourself right now by watching the show at facebook.com/PressBoxSports or youtube.com/PressBoxOnline.
Hey, hi, I'm Glenn. It's Glenn from Glenn Clark Radio. You might recognize me as the guy from Glenn Clark Radio. That's me. Hi, I'm here. Appreciate you guys hanging with us for a couple of minutes, and I'm told we had a little bit of a video trouble there, but Griffin says for now it's fixed, and we will hopefully get
permanently
that
fixed.
Figured it permanently?
For today, yeah.
Yeah, that's not I don't know if you know what permanent means. That's not
permanent means for the next 24 hours.
That's definitely not what
you know what? I can
means.
confirm for the next probably 27 hours.
27 hours?
So including tomorrow.
Okay. So back next week we're just back to being screwed?
No, we're not screwed.
Well, I don't understand what you're saying then.
It's fixed.
It's not
We're gonna
fixed.
be. We're gonna be up.
It's
We're up.
temporarily fixed.
I think it's a pretty good fix.
Anyway, just dropped a bunch of stuff. Drew's going to join us in just a couple of minutes. He is down at Helping Up Mission. I actually feel really bad. In the past couple of years, we've had a lot of help, ironically, at Helping Up Mission. Today, we just didn't. And I don't know why that is. It's a conversation for another day. But I feel bad. I'm not there. But they're getting everything set up, and they're going to get the men and women in to pick up all the many things that you all donated. And Drew and I will talk about the wild day that we had at Target yesterday, and just very grateful for everything that everybody did for us throughout the course. And I say for us. It's not for us. It's for the men and women at the Helping Up Mission. Between the actual physical donations, then we were out with Michael Pierce the other night, and I had a couple people who just shipped me stuff, which I appreciated, and then all the cash donations that you all made, whether it was during the Bull Pick'em or the NBA in-season pool or the raffle. It's been overwhelming. I mean, overwhelming what you all have done, and we were able to spend about $3,400 at Target yesterday, which is not an easy thing to do. Every year, I go into it knowing how difficult that is. Target made that go a little bit further, too. I know how difficult it is, and then it ends up being even more difficult. Then we're doing it in the middle of the holiday season. So getting a lot of dirty looks from people at Target because, we're taking up the time. They had to assign, 3 different people to what we were doing yesterday, which I'm grateful for, but then there's, the empath in me where I'm like,
well, they should have got there earlier. They should have got there sooner.
Sorry. In fairness, I was talking with one of the managers at Target yesterday, and I will admit that I've been this guy before, where you order something online, and it sends you an email saying, "Hey man, it's ready for pickup," and then you get there and it's not ready for pickup, right? You have to wait in another line, and they're like, it's a whole ordeal. And he's like, yeah, they have this automatic email thing that just kicks back an email that says it's ready. Well, we're in the middle of the holidays. We have 1,000 people working, and yet we still don't have enough people working. It's gonna be ready when we can get to it. That's the way it goes. And I'm like, So he's like, they don't there's not a system where somebody goes and pulls it, and then we say now it's ready. they just immediately email you back to say it's ready. I'm like, well, that doesn't seem ideal. Like, I'm not John Target, right? But like, I just don't think that's the way to go about it.
Is that his name?
I have no idea what his name is, Griffin. I just threw out a name. I haven't had time to put up what we're doing on the show today. I haven't had time to put up Would You Rather Wednesday. It's just, this is what it is. We're flying by the seat of our pants today. And if you think we're doing that today, imagine what it's going to be like tomorrow. Any updates regarding tomorrow? Anything that we know yet for tomorrow's show?
I believe we'll have a John Proctor's quiz.
You say you
tomorrow.
believe we'll have one.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, he told me that he will have one.
But, like, is he going to be able to proctor it?
He should be able to, yes.
You're using a lot of qualifiers.
All right.
You're using a lot of I'm getting a lot of misdirection. Sleight of hand is being
We will have
used.
Malort cookies.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
as well as Malort. Yeah.
Well, I'm not really interested in that. I just want the cookies. Tim Barbalace is going to join us tomorrow.
Oh, Tim.
Apparently, that should be fun. He's going to come in and hang out with us. Unfortunately, we can't get breathalyzed tomorrow. The folks in the Baltimore County Police Department that were going to come do it been told they had to do something else that apparently is a little more important than breathalyzing us idiots on the show. So that's sad because part of the reason I like doing the show is because it's the public service concept of it. Now we're just drinking for the sake of drinking, which I don't even like drinking. I don't even want to drink, so I don't know how that's going to work tomorrow. But we do know that our friends from Calvert Hall Brewery will be here. Jeremy's going to be here. Dennis Shockett is coming to play some tunes for us, which I'm excited about. Dennis Shockett from Starbelly, and literally at every bar in this community, nobody better than Dennis Shockett. And Jeremy and I will do a duet. I actually got a little bit nervous in talking to Jeremy that he doesn't even really know Fairy Tale of New York when we were chatting the other day.
Do you have to know it?
I mean, I would think that it would help.
I think you can.
It's a holiday classic. And I'm working on a couple other things for tomorrow, but we're going to have a very silly day tomorrow for our holiday spectacular, and then we'll be off Friday and the weekend. All right. Today's show is also brought to you by Project Game Day, which returns. We will be back this Monday night, Christmas Day, Christmas night. Really, by that point, it might even be the 26th. Following Ravens 49ers, come join us, myself, Femi, Rita, the whole crew, whoever's with us after a long Christmas day. We'll all be hanging out. I hope that you will come hang out with us. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline. Project Game Day brought to you by AJ Michaels, Superbook Sports, and HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. I ended up watching after we did the Tyus' show last night, and we'll get to segment number 2. So the way we're going to work it is we're going to do segments 1 and 2 today. With no show Friday, we'll do 1 and 2 today, and then on Thursday, we will, at some point during the Drunken Mess, get you segment number 3. But as always, the entire show can be found at Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline, the whole thing. And you can listen to it Friday night on 105.7 The Fan. All that being said, when Tyus' show was over, I was like, I'll poke in, see what's going on in the Maryland game. And I looked down, and I'm like, oh, my God. I think the first thing that I saw was they were down 43-34. So I said, well, I guess I'll take a look. I don't have a lot to say. None of your... Here's some of the takes that I've seen.
You think Jameer Young's happy he came back?
I saw Jameer Young the other day. My kids were hanging out with Jameer Young. We had a nice little conversation, Jameer Young and I did. He showed up at Grade 8's Memorabilia's bowling event over the weekend, and we ended up chatting for a little while. I like Jameer Young. I think Jameer Young's happy because I think that...
He's playing basketball.
I think if the question you're asking is in hindsight, would he have liked to have transferred somewhere else
or gone, overseas?
That part I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. He got a decent NIL deal, and as a young man, I don't think he was interested in being somewhere else, right? And I think that he likes the idea of being home and being around his family at a still young age. So I disagree with that. I think the more relevant question would be, does he regret maybe not listening in on some transfer portal options? And I don't know about that. But that's a conversation for another day. My buddy Bruce Cunningham was like, Nichols is actually pretty good. They beat I love Bruce is the guy that read something on the internet and thinks that he knows something that other people don't. And so he He goes on Twitter like regurgitating it, and it's just not – it's all easily available. And I love Bruce. This is who he is. Bruce, well, Nichols was pretty good. They beat LSU. Well, Bruce, that's the only D1 team that they've beaten in regulation all year. It's an anomaly.
It is a good win.
It's a good win. It's a good win. Let's not oversell it. It's a good win. But it's not a particularly good win. And, again, it's an anomaly. This is not like a Nichols team that's been rolling through their competition and it included a win over LSU. Bizarrely, they beat LSU because nothing else they have done has backed up that being a good win. They have not been a good team. They just happen to have beaten a good team. Weird. So we start with that. The next element of it is, but the guys on that team, including the two St. Francis kids, probably pretty fired up. Devon Sadler probably treated this sort of like a Super Bowl. The same way they probably treated LSU sort of like a Super Bowl because, they play in Thibodeau. It's a big deal for them to go beat LSU. It was probably one that they had circled for a long time. And you did probably get a more spirited best effort, whereas the kids from Maryland probably did not feel the same way about a matchup with Nichols, which they have no idea where it is, couldn't spell it, don't know if it's Nichols or Nichols State, and neither does anybody else. They probably just did not care. Around the holidays, students not there, no atmosphere, the team's not been all of that. The other element of it is, hey, they at least they won the game. It's okay to have a tough time as long as you don't screw up and lose the game. Not for the people that bet on them, but for everybody else, it's not that big of a deal. Which again would be true if not for the fact that Maryland's not good. If, Maryland had beat Villanova or just won their games down in Asheville, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal that they struggle a little bit with Nichols. You'd come away from it saying, that happens. Every now and then you have one. But this is basically a reflection of who Maryland is. They don't shoot well. They're just not a very good team. The more difficult part is there's nothing big picture to say. And this is the thing that I talk about all the time. We are a society that wants the response has to be something larger than that. Either you're winning the NCAA title, either you're winning the championship, or you're firing the coach. It's as my friend Chad Dukes coined years ago, GOAT versus trash. That's all we have. All we can do is be gangbusters excited or fire the coach. That's all we have. You're either the best or you're trash. There's nowhere in between those two things. Well, Maryland's not firing their coach. This is, you're gonna have to let the season play out before you can even make strong judgments. By the way, UCLA lost to somebody terrible last night.
They lost to Northridge.
Cal State Northridge.
Notre Dame lost to the Citadel.
And the first game on Big Ten Network, somebody tried to lose.
Yeah. Illinois or Indiana tried to lose to. Who did they even play?
Was it
Morehead?
Morehead? Yeah, Morehead.
Morehead State.
We
love Morehead.
Love Morehead. There's no doubt about that. So I don't know what happens Friday night. I'm guessing Maryland loses anyway. I don't feel good about them. Even if it's not as good, nearly as good of a UCLA team as it was a year ago, I don't feel very good about it. But it's not necessarily germane to the point. The point is, the season's going to have to play out. And even after the season plays out, even if it goes the way it looks like it's going to go at this point, you're going to have to give the benefit of time, another recruiting, all of those things. This isn't how you don't just fire the coach every time there's a bad season. Mark Turgeon got the better part of a decade. It's disappointing because Maryland showed so much promise a year ago, and there's questions to be asked about development versus recruiting. And you'd like to hope that there's still room as the season goes on for Deshaun Harris-Smith, for Jamie Kite, for those guys to improve, for John Lamoth to maybe be involved. You'd like to hope that that's something that can come as the season goes on, but it doesn't look good right now. At the moment, you're just going to have to watch or don't watch. I mean, that's really what I don't know what else there is to tell you. There's no big take to have. There's nothing good about a narrow victory over Nichols. There's no silver lining other than it could have been worse. And they haven't suffered a disastrous loss yet this season, for what it's worth. They haven't had a shameful, embarrassing home floor loss to a lowest level team. Nothing like that has occurred. But that's about the only good thing you could say about Maryland basketball to this point. They could use anything. Anything. And maybe a down UCLA team gives them that opportunity, although you don't necessarily love the fact that UCLA...
Yeah, they're going to be...
It's what it is.
Probably awake now.
It's what it is. But I'm sorry, I don't have a strong thing to say. It's, it was, again, at least they didn't lose. That's what I got for you. At least they didn't lose. Ravens officially placed, elevated Melvin Gordon from the practice squad and then signed former Terp Jake Funk to take his spot on the practice squad, which was neat. We like Jake a lot around here. I talk all the time about calling his 7-touchdown game in the state championship a few years ago, which was quite the performance. Love Jake, also a heck of a special teams guy, and maybe that provides him an opportunity to get active on some game days the rest of the season. We will find out. Don't know, but right now the Ravens needed a running back. Jake Funk was available. They went with Jake Funk. So that's all I got for you. Presumably, and we'll see how Melvin Gordon might be involved. I'm going to guess it's going to be primarily the Gus Edwards and Justice Hill show moving forward, but there were moments in the Cleveland game for Melvin Gordon, like they saw something. They put him on the field when they were able to have him on the roster. So we'll see how that plays out moving forward with Melvin Gordon. I don't expect it to be a large role. It is also awkward too, though, because he's not going to play special teams. So, like, if you're going to activate him, there is a question of like, why are you activating if he's not going to have a role, right? So, I guess that's not for me to figure out. They'll have to sort that out moving forward. We'll see how that goes. And then I feel like there was something else from yesterday that I wanted to respond to. What?
Frisco Bowl?
No, not the Frisco Bowl. Who won the?
UTSA did win.
Okay, but did they cover?
They did cover. They covered as well.
There you go.
Yeah,
everybody was freaking. Everybody was freaking out because it was Josh McCown's son versus Chad Pennington's son,
which is why I was very worried because it was supposed to be Fran Harris was UTSA's quarterback, and he hurt his shoulder, and no one had really reported on it. So like about a couple hours before kickoff, it was like, oh yeah, UTSA is not going to have their starting quarterback, and it was like, great. Oh, and they're going against Chad Pennington's son. But it was good news because Owen McCown came in and balled out for the Roadrunners.
If you say so.
It's a good one.
I missed that one.
Rocky Boyman was on the call.
He did another bowl game that I saw recently.
He's Mr. Bowl.
I swear to God, he's done like all the bowl games. They got to get that travel budget, man. I swear I heard him doing another game the other day. I was like, was that Rocky? I get really excited.
It was the Scooter's Coffee Frisco Bowl, so they dumped coffee on the winning.
They didn't actually.
Yes, they did.
Well, no, they didn't dump. They might have dumped like cold coffee on the guy. They might have dumped.
Sure.
They didn't dump hot coffee on the guy.
Well, yeah, they didn't jump off.
Like that didn't happen. All right, what's Drew's deal? Is he?
He is not in yet. I'll
Can you
call him in a minute.
To remind him that we were doing.
I did,
this?
yeah.
Okay. And if we're just out of time, we're just going to be out of time. It's what it is. We got Donte Whitner scheduled to join us at 11 o'clock to preview the 49ers. And Peter Moore. Drew probably likes Peter Moore. He's from Calvert Hall. Peter Moore is going to check in with us. He is an Annapolis native and coming back to play in Annapolis as he's going to play in the Military Bowl next week for Virginia Tech. He is their punter. Calvert Hall, they'll take on Tulane. And what was we'll get more of the Tyus Bowser Show. That's all still to come on the program today. want to check in with Drew Forrester, who is at Helping Up Mission, where, as I said to start my portion of the show today, you guys did just an amazing job of collecting items for us. Before we do that, a reminder that the best of issue of Pressbox is available right now for free at your neighborhood Royal Farms and in the hundreds of locations around town where you find Pressbox. You can read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. On the cover, we celebrate our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year, Brandon Hyde, and the Team of the Year, the Baltimore Orioles, and inside. We also recognize the top people, performances, and moments of 2023. It's all inside this best of issue of Pressbox, which is available right now. You can also go to PressBoxOnline.com/bestof if you want to read more there. Is there any chance he just can't figure out how to use Zoom on his phone?
I was thinking that as soon as,
Like,
as, soon as we hung up, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll join right now," and then hung up.
And he's not doing that.
He's not in
right.
yet.
And I showed him. I was like, "Dude, you have the Zoom app on your phone." He was like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." And now I realize, because when I brought it up with him yesterday, the idea of doing this, he was like, "I don't have my laptop." I said, "Drew, you don't need your laptop. Just use your phone." And then he said it again to me today. When I saw him this morning, I said, "Well, we'll have you Zoom in at 10:40. And he was like, I don't have my laptop." I said, "Drew, we just had this conversation. You have a phone. You get the email, pull the email up on your phone, click the link, and it opens the Zoom app, and there you are in the—"
I think I'll just call him.
Really?
I mean, it's not going through. So
What? I know he's old. I know he's got gout. Like, he's got a lot going on. But what are we doing? Like, what is Oh, maybe? This is so embarrassing. What? You think you made it?
yeah, I think let's hold on.
Uh-huh.
Connecting. Yeah.
Oh, we got a chance.
I see Drew Forrester's name though, so
Okay.
I think that's good news.
Okay. All right. This is
I think
this is
because on your
dramatic.
phone you have to like hit dial in. I think
This is
or use cellular or something. You have to click on your phone, so that may be. Oh,
what a nightmare.
there we
What a
go.
nightmare.
We have Drew Forrester.
Drew Forrester live at the Helping Up Mission, and maybe we'll be able to hear him. Maybe he's figured out how Zoom works. Are you still struggling with how Zoom works on your phone, pal? Not a chance.
Make
Yo,
sure.
yo.
There we go.
We did it. You hear us okay?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Do you hear me? Oh,
I can hear everything you're saying.
awesome.
You said I'm getting a raise.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on that. Drew is live at the Helping Up Mission this morning. How long did we spend at Target yesterday?
Well, we spent 2.5 hours there. Only about 40 minutes of it was shopping,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the rest of it was getting the stuff paid for and repaid for and hobbled out to the car. But it was good.
And a shout out to Baltimore County for getting rid of shopping bags. Heck of a time.
Yeah, I tell you. Thanks a lot, Bin Laden. Way to go.
What is that? All right, give me your. I know you do like 100 things anymore, and this one, you still keep your toes in what we do here, but what it means to you, what today means, all the whole thing. Give me the rundown.
Well, Chris and I were just talking about this. Like, I never would miss this, and I know it's gone through a bunch of iterations. And you and I always say every October, like, dude, got to get together and start talking about what we're going to do at Helping Up. But it always happens. It always works. And, in some ways, like, it's you and I always joke about this. Like, when we walked in here that day with those 440 coats the first year, we thought we were kings of the world.
Yep.
And, to see it now where it's – I don't want to say it's more meaningful, but this is all brand new stuff that these guys need, that they come in and they get. And it, they come in and they grab deodorant, they grab shaving cream, and they grab underwear, and they grab soap, and they grab things that they're going to use every single day that matter to them. I was just saying to Chris, when you and I have not, I'm very blessed. I haven't been in here as a client, but when you come in here as a client, you're kind of stripped down. You have reached pretty much the bottom. And I guess for these guys that come in to be able to have this opportunity to feel like someone, even if they don't know who it is, someone took time out of their day to do something for them. I have to imagine that's pretty meaningful to them.
I apologize because I can't see you right now, unfortunately. Can you show everybody around? I don't know where you are right now. Can you show everybody around at all the stuff and what the setup is like?
Can you see that or no?
Yeah, Griffin's giving me the thumbs up. Yep.
Okay, so there is everything that we're doing. Chris will come over and talk in a second. There's the Christmas tree. There's the building across the street you're trying to get. There's the stuffed animals. There's everything. There's the American flag. God bless America. There we are.
There we are indeed. All right, you wanna hand it over to Chris Sherrar? I'll talk to him for a second.
Get in the hot seat there.
Hey, Chris.
Hello, everybody.
How are you, Chris Sherrar? Your title, Chris, are you still Director of Philanthropy? Is that still your title?
It is still my title. It's my joy to be a connector between the community of compassionate, generous Baltimoreans and beyond with the things that are happening here at Helping Up Mission for men, women, and children who are in an experiential crisis, be it homelessness, poverty, and or addiction. So I've been here myself since 2006, first as a client and then as a graduate of the Spiritual Recovery Program, staying at Helping Up Mission on staff. And I know that we've been doing this together. We were doing a count. We think it's 15. We're so honored and blessed by what you and Drew have been doing. And your circles of influence are mind-boggling for how many people you invite and they say yes to you. So that is testimony to your impact and your influence, and you're using it to love on and serve our most vulnerable neighbors.
Can you, Chris, just for people that don't know, for all they hear is us trying to explain what Helping Up Mission is and what you guys do, can you, as someone who, as you said, you were a client once, could you, on a personal level, explain more about why Helping Up Mission might be a little bit different than other facilities?
Right. So regardless of our personal backgrounds, education, profession, relationship, financial status, social status, family status, none of those immunize an individual that if they have made one fateful choice to take a drink or a drug, not knowing that that has sentenced them to a lifetime of attachment and addiction to that chemical. And it, for some, might take a drink and be okay and wake up the next morning. For those of us in recovery, we know that one is too many and 1,000. One is not enough. 1,000. One is too many and 1,000 is not enough. I'm butchering that phrase, but I live it every day. And so Helping Up Mission might be different that what distinguishes us. We're not special. We're not the end all be all. We're just people on journey to overcome those experiential crisis and catastrophe and calamity by helping someone in a therapeutic community reach a foundation in their spirit, their body, their mind, and then also help them overcome the barriers that those external factors may be pushing them to self-medication. So we address those, and we are at a scale where we have 500 men with us. Our now 2-year young Center for Women and Children, we now have 100 or more women with us. And most recently, in the last 9 months, we celebrate a program where moms in pregnancy and with newborns who are overcoming addiction are with us in residence. We have 23 moms/moms to be and babies
Wow.
to be, 23 of them at our Center for Women and Children.
This was the first year that we spent a bit of what y'all, and we also took donations of diapers, in fact, and got them down to, and that's going to go along.
And I will do my best to take a picture of the faces of the leaders at the center when they see me open up the back end of my SUV with all the boxes of diapers for the babies that we're serving. This event means so much to us and as a community. So many in community would reject and judge and push away those who are suffering in addiction. But we're now hearing that 1 in 4 families in Greater Baltimore has someone either personally or in family or one relationship removed of someone who is struggling with addiction. So as it comes out more and more, people are realizing that those who are in places like Helping Up Mission are other human beings who need compassionate care and a chance,
Chris,
and not to be pushed away and rejected. So this giving in the Christmas time is phenomenal for all who are being served here.
Chris, if I could, when you say that, I'm getting the feeling that perhaps somebody is watching or listening that either might be going through their own struggles right now, or might have, as you point out, someone within their closest circle, within their closest family group of friends that's going through that type of struggle. If somebody is wondering, is this where I need to be? Is there something that you could tell them? Is there, how they get more information, who they can call, anything like that? How can we have more action even beyond donations and helping the folks out who are already there?
Yes. Thank you. This is the most vital question that we can answer, and that is to someone in the throes of the suffering addiction. Our website, www.helpingupmission.org/get-help, or right at the top of our page is a Get Help. We also have had for 2 years now a hotline 24/7 is staffed by someone who is on the phone. It's not a voice recording. Someone live. That is 410-729-6999. 410-729-6999. But go to our website. There's information about our programs, and we are a place of caring. We're a beautiful mess of human beings making our journey. Many of us on staff are graduates of this program or another program. So we're a community of compassionate accountability. But if you have a need, reach out to us on our website or on that hotline.
And, of course, always looking for volunteers. If you guys want to come join me in serving breakfast on Sunday mornings or any other areas, there's always a need for volunteers as well. And you can find out more. There's a volunteer link at the same website, helpingup.org. Chris, I want to have you hand the phone back to Drew for a minute, but I just want to say to you personally.
Yes, please. I'm gonna step out the hot seat. Thank you to you guys. Thank you to the entire community. God bless you all, and Merry Christmas.
It's a blessing to be a part of it. Merry Christmas to you, sir. It's Chris Sherrar, who's the Director of Philanthropy. And we'll grab Drew back in here for just a minute because he's got more important things to do for sure. It was Drew Forrester is down at the Helping Up Mission with Chris today, and let me know when
I'm here.
Oh, you're there. You're there. Were you at all worried that there was going to be a middle-aged white woman who was going to take a swing at us at some point during this process yesterday at Target?
Oh, they were definitely getting frustrated.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
There were a lot of dirty looks.
I mean,
a lot of
there were at one point there was no one in line, and and I was like, boy, thank God there's nobody in line.
Yeah.
Then there were 18 people in line, and they just the death stares we were getting.
Oh, it was so uncomfortable.
I tried not to look up at anyone.
No, right? Keep your head down. Keep looking at each other. Pretend like nothing else is going on. Just do everything in your power to do that.
Right.
We pulled it off again somehow.
It's awesome. I'm going to take a quick video because I'm going to post it on Twitter for myself. But it's awesome. The room looks great. And I think, just, again, there's just something about the evolution of this where these guys come in, and for any of them that, it's just the basic things that we all take for granted, that you got up this morning and you brushed your teeth and you shaved and you put deodorant on and you grabbed a pair of underwear out of your dresser and you put new socks on. Like we start our day every day.
Wait, so
with
you
that.
you put on new underwear and deodorant? That's
I do.
yeah.
Most days.
Yeah.
But no, we take all that for granted, and we take it for granted not that it's available to us, but we take it for granted as it relates to just our own hygiene and our own feeling of like I'm starting a new day. And if you don't have that at your disposal, how do you start your day? So that's I think to me that's the coolest thing about seeing all of this set up is knowing that at the start of tomorrow morning, these guys are going to brush their teeth, shave, deodorant, underwear, shirts, soap, socks. They have that to look forward to tomorrow.
Just the dignity of that, right? The dignity of normalcy. The dignity of this is how we take a step forward. This is how, like, in order to be able to get back to where I want to be, there has to be a basic first step in all of this. And
correct.
The dignity of that goes a long way. I don't give you credit for a lot of things. Everybody knows that, and I know that you like to talk about how and I do some of the heavy lifting these days. But I want to remind everyone, this actually started with Drew. Like, this all started one day years ago, where Drew just walked in one day and said, "It's time for us to do something for the community," and it all went from there. And truth be told, when the radio station went under back in 2014. If not for Drew, I don't know that we would have kept going. Like, Drew immediately called and said, here's one thing we're not going to stop doing is helping the folks at Helping Up. And I said, I don't know how we're going to do it. And frankly, that year, I think we were saved by Zach from All Time Low. And, we all kind of kept together from there. But both originally and at that point, I don't know that this would have continued if not for you, pal. So I give you an awful lot of credit for leading.
I think this is just God's work that we're all doing. And this is really, it really is that at the root of it. It's just the work that God would want us to do for people that need help. I do believe that on the 25th anniversary, we really should, to commemorate it, we really should ride around in the back of the truck
and just throw out some coats. All right. We'll look into that at 20. So we decided this is 15. Is that what we decided? This is the 15?
I think if we trace this back, it's either 14 or 15 for sure.
Okay. Well,
so we're in the neighborhood.
I couldn't thank everyone. It would be impossible, but obviously thank you to Michael Pierce, who was very giving when he was exhausted on Monday, but could not.
Right.
I mean, came out on his own time, refused to allow me to pay him to do an appearance, refused to. And was just kind and thoughtful and wonderful with everybody on Monday night. And, of course, Steve and the crew at Chick-fil-A
And unlike
Nottingham
the time
Square.
when Ed Reed came out with me to the bar and he didn't eat $400 of Chick-fil-A that night.
He didn't. I think he had a sweet tea and nothing else. Like, he was
Ed Reed and the four guys he brought in the Escalade ate $400 of food at the barn.
Yeah, that was a different time back then. Well, somebody paid
and
for it.
I got yelled at.
Right, you got yelled at.
And I got yelled at.
It was your fault that Ed did
right.
that. I love
Ed walked in with his sunglasses on and a bag of Cheetos and said, "Is there any food here?"
Good news. There is. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow, but we're gonna do a holiday spectacular if you feel like stopping by at any point. So,
yeah, let me think about that.
Oh, your boy Dennis Shockett's coming in to play some tunes tomorrow.
No, he isn't.
Yes, he is. Dennis Shockett. I don't know exactly when during the time frame, but Dennis Shockett's coming in tomorrow. All right. We'll talk about that.
I'll be there. That's all you had to say.
I really do. I genuinely appreciate you and the leadership that you've had for this, and the fact that even as you're doing 100 other things, you continue to make sure you support it and lift it up. Love you, brother, and Merry Christmas. All right.
Yep, love you too. All right, see you soon. See you tomorrow.
Drew Forrester, drewsmorningdish.com, with us from down at Helping Up Mission, and thanks to Chris Sherrar as well. It's a very meaningful day for us. It's a very special day, and I get a little emotional every time we talk about it because it really is the most important thing to me that we'll do all year. And so A lot of times I think about whether or not I want to keep doing truth be told, sometimes I think about whether or not I want to keep doing the show. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I just do something else. And part of the reason I keep doing it is because of this, because I want to continue the connection. I want to continue to have a community of folks that are willing to step up and support and be a part of it. So I'm grateful to all of you. Thank you for all of your donations. Thank you for everything that you did. And we'll make sure we do it again next year. But appreciate everything you did to help us help the Helping Up mission this year at the holiday season. All right, let's switch gears this morning. Let's get into a big game on Monday night. Ravens 49ers out in San Francisco. Joining us now from NBC Sports Bay Area, he is not only a 49ers analyst, but of course he had a hell of a career himself. He is former NFL safety, Mr. Donte Whitner, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Donte, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Happy holidays to you, and thank you for taking the time for us.
Happy holidays to you. Thanks for having me.
Donte, are we looking at super team? Are the 49ers, when they're healthy, are they beatable at all?
It's going to be difficult. I think every team is beatable, and you can catch them on a bad day. But when the 49ers are healthy and they're playing their best, it's almost impossible to beat them. And, they haven't been playing their best as of late. The running game has been faltering. The offense has been upholding the standard. So right now, the 49ers are definitely the best, but they are beatable. But when they play their best and healthy, they are almost impossible to beat.
So I asked that to say, we know all of the areas where they're really good. Where are they vulnerable? You say that the run, Christian McCaffrey's still alive. Where are they vulnerable as a team?
They're vulnerable in the run game. We saw that last week when the Arizona Cardinals went for over 200 yards rushing. They gave up 5 explosive runs for a total of 142 yards. So that's where they're vulnerable. And we know that the Baltimore Ravens have the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL. And it's all led by Lamar Jackson, who gives every defense a tremendous amount of problems. So, that's where the vulnerability is.
So, it seems like the roadmap for the Ravens should be come in, run the football, and maybe run the football a little bit more, particularly because I don't know that I love the sounds. Ronnie Stanley, concussion protocol, on top of the fact that he's been struggling this season. Morgan Moses has been banged up and struggling. Some vulnerable tackles against that duo of Chase Young and Nick Bosa. That sounds like hell right now for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, they are stacked up front, but the 49ers are missing 2 of their interior presences, and Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead missed the previous 2 games, and Javon Hargrave missed last week with a hamstring. Hopefully they can get those guys back. But, Bosa is starting to come into his own. Earlier in the season, he couldn't get the consistency, the foot placement, the hand placement. And the number one thing about Nick Bosa isn't his pass rush moves. It's the intensity and the effort that he continuously plays with, where he just wears down tackles. At some point, the tackle is going to take a play off, and Nick Bosa isn't. So, and then Chase Young came over, helped improve that unit. He had a sack in his first game, and he consistently applies pressure, sets the edge. So it'll be a great battle with the trenches of the 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens.
He is Donte Whitner, former NFL safety, now with NBC Sports Bay Area, out in, obviously, the Bay Area. He's with us here on GCR. Donte, I ask this knowing that, this is – it doesn't matter. There's still a few weeks left in the season. Maybe it'll work itself out. But there is, of course, this MVP debate, and maybe – Monday night is going to go a ways to determining who the MVP is. But internally within the 49ers, there are people that have the opinion that it actually should be Christian McCaffrey who's the MVP and not Brock Purdy. And they point out, how Brock played when other guys were banged up. Where are you in that argument about who's the actual MVP just of the 49ers?
Well, it's a good problem to have, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You have 2 guys on the same team that are vying, and they're arguing who should be the MVP. The 49ers offensive catalyst is Christian McCaffrey. He's the guy that every team goes into the game and say, we must stop, and he continuously applies pressure to the defense. It creates explosives in the run, the pass game. Kyle Shanahan has tailored his offense around Christian McCaffrey to get him on linebackers, out into the pattern. And then some of those runs that he makes, a lot of times he's making the first and second guy miss and creating on his own. But I'm a Brock Purdy follower. I'm a Brock Purdy believer. I believe that Brock Purdy has taken this 49ers offense to another level. Yes, Christian McCaffrey is the catalyst, but Brock Purdy is the guy that distributes the football, and right now he has historical numbers. Almost 70% completion rate, number one in every statistical category, and big-time throw rates, which is like over 40 yards. He has the highest completion percentage in the last 3 decades. So when you think about a quarterback of Brock Purdy's stature, where he was drafted, and what he's doing currently in the league, only in his second year, I would definitely have to give it to Brock Purdy.
Donte, what do you make of the argument that people make that, like, you know, hey, anybody could, if you had Deebo Samuel and Ayuk and McCaffrey and Kittle, and any quarterback could do this, and maybe, you know, the system quarterback argument, like, what do you make of the people that try to knock Brock Purdy for those things and say it's not really about him, it's about what he's working with?
Well, they don't know football. They've never played against the top quarterbacks in the NFL. I played against the top quarterbacks in the NFL, and Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, all the top guys over the last decade, 15 years. And what made them special wasn't that they could throw fast, the accuracy. It was the ability to read mannerisms and almost like geometry to where player placement is on the football field, and be able to take that information and within 5 seconds determine where you're going to throw the football, how you're going to buy times, the anticipation it takes, who you have to affect with your eyes and your shoulders. And when you watch this young kid drop back and throw the football, it's not like Kyle Shanahan just says, hey, throw it here. There are technical things that he's doing to get a lot of these guys open. A lot of the throws that he throws before the guys are coming out of their break, every quarterback doesn't have that anticipation gene in the NFL. You can't tell me they do. So I heard somebody say they can plug 15 quarterbacks in his position. I beg to differ.
What is it that's made him this guy? Like, Don, you know, and I say that, is it just that everybody missed in scouting, that like he was always this guy, but or is it something about Kyle Shanahan, San Francisco, that has allowed Brock Purdy to go from being, you know, Mr. Irrelevant to perhaps the MVP of the NFL?
I would say the college experience. He was a 4-year starter at Iowa State. There's something to be said about going through an entire week, entire month, entire year, and 4 years of preparing to be the starting quarterback, and how to dissect defenses, how to study film, right? How to make checks, getting comfortable out there on the football field. So I think that a lot of it is the experience from college, but also that chip on his shoulder, similarly to Tom Brady. When Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick and he felt like he should have been picked higher, he took that chip on his shoulder and it drove him to amazing heights and success during his career. When you watched the video last week, you could possibly go pull it up on X, where you'll see Brock Purdy standing around his family and he puts on his fake smile and then immediately flips his helmet up and glares into that camera. You can tell that this kid has the killer instinct. So I think that he's on his way to winning MVP. There's a good chance he's going to lead the 49ers to the Super Bowl. And once he solidifies both of those awards, I don't think there's any more Brock Purdy debate.
Let's talk a little bit about former Raven Kyle Juszczyk, because it's funny. There's only a couple teams in the NFL that really truly do still use fullbacks, right? And these are two of the teams that are squaring off on Monday night. And as Pat Ricard slid in for him, Kyle Juszczyk got a lot of money. It seems like it's been worth it for the 49ers. It seems like they have continued to find ways to get him involved, correct?
Absolutely, and they use him as a tight end. They use him as a fullback, as a wide receiver. They'll put him in the slot. But his biggest value is the ability to allow Kyle Shanahan to play personnel games with the defensive coordinator. For example, when you put Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, and the 2 wide receivers on the field, you would automatically think that if they line up in a certain formation, they're going to run the ball. So you have to match that with 3 linebackers, 2 safeties, and 4 or 5 defensive linemen, correct? Then they bust the formation open, and Kyle Juszczyk can run routes like a wide receiver. Who out there is going to cover them when the 2 corners and the safeties have to account for the other all-pro guys that can catch the ball out of the field? So then do you play man or do you play zone? If you play man and they have all these guys that are interchangeable, somebody's going to get confused and there's going to be a bust in the coverage. So with the personnel groupings, with the individual players, it allows Kyle Shanahan to mix it up, and Juszczyk is a big part of that offense.
Donte Whitner, just another couple of minutes here on GCR as we get ready for Ravens 49ers on Monday night. Donte, you know, it's been weird kind of talking about this game here in Baltimore because it's a heavyweight title fight, right? It's Ali Frazier. Mm-hmm. It's everything you could ask for, and yet at the same time, for the Ravens, it might not be all that important because the game the following week against the Dolphins, no matter what happens against the 49ers, will probably be the one that determines who the number 1 seed is in the AFC. What's the vibe like in San Francisco? Because like they already did the thing, right? Like they already went and demolished the Eagles a couple weeks ago and made the statement. Is the vibe that this is, the magnitude of this is significant, or does it feel sort of more like a, hey, it's a cool game to have on a primetime game, but it's not necessarily like the most significant thing because it ultimately doesn't determine a whole heck of a lot.
Well, that's not a championship mindset. Championship teams take the football field and want to put their best out there each and every week. You can't really control injuries, but you want to be playing your best at the appropriate time in the season, and this is the appropriate time. And this is a Super Bowl preview, so you want that psychological advantage. You want to go out there and pound on the Baltimore Ravens if you're the San Francisco 49ers, and vice versa, just to put it in the back of their mind that if we do meet you guys, we already have that one up on you.
Yeah.
And with the 49ers, they're in a similar situation. They have the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, who now are pretty much 2 games behind the 49ers because of the loss of Philadelphia Eagles last weekend. And if Dallas loses, if the 49ers win and Philadelphia loses, the 49ers capture and solidify the number 1 seed. So, yeah, they're in a similar situation because even if they do get an even tie, the 49ers hold the tiebreaker over all 3 of those teams, including the Detroit Lions.
So what's the between them being a very good team that's run 6 games in a row and being a team that's ready to go win a Super Bowl? What's the difference, or what's the thing that's most necessary for the 49ers to continue this and have it end with a Vince Lombardi trophy?
Well, to continue to make the main thing the main thing. Sometimes you can start to read the press clippings. The work can take a back seat. You stop showing up at the appropriate times and getting there earlier than everybody else and staying later. So contentment, not allowing contentment to seep in, continuing to work as if you're 0-0, stay healthy. And that's the only barrier I see between the 49ers and capturing that Lombardi trophy.
Do you bother to like maybe try to get in a couple guys' ears this week? Like, hey, I need you guys to go win this. We still owe them one for what happened in Super Bowl 47.
Yeah, not only Super Bowl 47, but if you think back to that year, we had a Super Bowl preview with the Baltimore Ravens as well on a Thursday Night Football, if I can really recollect properly.
Man,
they beat us on Thursday Night Football. We had to travel, play Sunday in San Francisco. We had to travel all the way across the country, play Thursday on a short week. And that's when they had Ray Rice and Flacco and all those guys. And then later on in the year, we played them in the Super Bowl. So I remember that, and the 49ers remember that. And I remember them being ultra physical. I remember they played a lot harder than we normally played, which caused us to lose that game.
That's the nature of obviously that's the history of the Baltimore Ravens, and the Ravens defense right now is playing at about a very Ravens-like level, which has been very encouraging for their chances of doing this. It should be an awful lot of fun, right? Like, if we're all going to be hanging out watching football on Monday night, like, you can't do a whole lot better than this. Donte Whitner, anything we can plug for you? Where can folks give you a follow, Twitter, Instagram, anything like that?
On X, I think it's X now, right?
Yeah, I refuse.
Donte Whitner.
I'm holding out.
DonteWhitner. I'm also on Instagram. It's Donte Hittner, the number 39. I'm trying to get that 39 off of there. I need to talk to somebody. But those are my handles.
We'll see if we can get you in touch with Mark Zuckerberg to help you out with that. Donte Whitner.
Yeah, please help me out.
Always appreciate it, man. Merry Christmas to you, to your family. Enjoy the game. Thanks so much for hopping on, and perhaps we'll be talking again in a few weeks out in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. Have a great one. Happy holidays.
Thank you, sir. Donte Whitner with us here on GCR. Appreciate him doing that. Vulnerable on the ground. I still don't feel good. I can't lie. I haven't decided yet.
After he talks up Brock Purdy like that as well, you know.
I mean,
you're not sold on Brock Purdy.
It's not that I'm not sold. It's a weird. It really is. I think both things are true. I think it's both that Brock Purdy is clearly far better than anyone realized he was, and there was a giant miss. And it's not a but, it's an and. and I think that he's in an extraordinarily favorable situation. I think both things can be true. We'll get into it. You're going to hear it on the Tyus Bowser Show this week. But what are the Ravens if Brock Purdy is their quarterback versus what are the 49ers if Lamar Jackson is their quarterback? I mean, obviously it's an impossible argument. You can say, well, we never know, right? Like, we can do that. But I think we all have a feel for what that would look like, right? The 49ers would be maybe the greatest team in football history. The Ravens would probably be in a little bit of trouble. Now, I'm not suggesting that the Ravens, because their defense is still really good and they still run the ball a little bit, I'm not saying the Ravens would be a bad football team with Brock Purdy as their quarterback, but I think they'd be a little closer to 500. I just think Lamar Jackson is a different type of special than even a Brock Purdy is. But I'm over the Brock Purdy is just a guy. Like, I'm over that. It's obvious that's not the case. In the same way that I wonder if Kurt Warner, when he had gotten his first taste of playing in the NFL, that instead of it being with Marshall Faulk and Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, if it had been, let's say, in Baltimore with insert, with God, who are we even talking about?
99 and
Jesus, we're talking about Kevin Johnson, Travis Taylor.
I
mean, Kadri was there. That's Kadri was there, and Kadri was obviously.
Kadri would have elevated him, obviously. Justin Armour.
Justin Armour, right.
Eric Rhett.
Oh yeah, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Eric Rhett.
Would have had Jonathan Ogden on the line.
He would have had that. They did have Orlando Pace though in St. Louis. So.
Aaron Pierce was the tight end.
I don't remember there being an Aaron.
You know what? I don't know why he's listed as the starter, but he only had 11 catches that year.
I'm trying to think of. This is now my brain, like the functionality of when did Ben Coates show up, when did Shannon Sharp show up, when
Femi was on that team.
Femi was on that team, so he would have had that going for him, which is nice.
You know what? I think it probably would have been
I think the story would have been exactly the same.
Yeah.
You think so? And it's not to say that, like, obviously Kurt Warner proved that it wasn't the system, right? Because Kurt Warner continued to do it when he went on to Arizona. Now, they also had good players in Arizona. Like, I recognize that. It wasn't just the circumstances for Kurt Warner. And it's not just the circumstances for Brock Purdy. It's not a but, it's an and. Brock Purdy's good, and his circumstances are exceptional. Which you can read as detracting from Brock Purdy, and I understand that. It's more explaining Brock Purdy and having this conversation. If we were doing the MVP conversation today, I would probably argue that if you're not sure who on the same team is the MVP, that probably means that guy isn't the MVP. Like, if
it's not clear that the quarterback is the MVP.
Right. Like, if there's such a strong argument for someone else on the same side of the ball to be the actual MVP of the league, it probably means that Brock Purdy isn't the MVP. Now, again, this is where we get bogged down in minutia and, like, is MVP really about value? Because if it is, then some people point out that only quarterbacks can ever win because they're the only ones that... This is where we kind of get lost in the conversation and get lost in the sauce a little bit. But if it was a sheer Lamar Jackson versus Brock Purdy argument, the fact that there is such a strong argument for Christian McCaffrey, to me, will go a long way into saying, hey, I think we know who the actual MVP is.
Break it down further. He lost his top pass catcher. He's down 2 running backs.
The whole deal. All of it.
Rotating O-line.
And we saw, that when Brock Purdy went through some of those things, he wasn't the same
Well,
guy.
3 in a row, I believe.
Now, they would also point out that the opinion out there is that he was still also dealing with concussion, and they let him play anyway.
That might be a deeper issue.
Yeah, that's a far more dark conversation. And I can't get into that because I don't factually know. But I do factually know that, like, when he lost his guys, he wasn't the same. When Lamar lost his guys, he was arguably
Lamar
better.
Jackson, yeah.
So if it's just between those two guys, I've always said I'd like to encourage there to be consideration for other players and other positions, and I still think that Myles Garrett should be in this conversation because it's kind of badass that the Browns.
Well, if Brown gets it, it's going to be Joe Flacco, obviously.
No.
Yeah.
So I love Joe. Don't get me wrong, and I understand the shtick, but like I also think that the argument for Josh Allen is stronger than people want to make it out to be. But I get it. Like they're not going to finish with the best record. They might not even make the playoffs. But he's doing everything. Everything. This past week was the first time we've ever seen them like commit to a ground game that wasn't just Josh Allen. Maybe they learned something from that. I still think there's a good argument for Tyreek Hill, although if he continues to miss time, that probably goes away. It does feel like it's come down to Brock Purdy and Lamar Jackson at the moment. What does Superbook tell us about the? I guess we should.
The old book.
Superbook.com. Download the Superbook app. Use the code GlennClark23. When you sign up, you'll receive up to $250 in a same-day first bet match, win or lose. It's overwhelming from Superbook. Minus 215 for Brock Purdy at the moment.
Wow.
Plus 500 for Lamar Jackson. Overwhelming movement on MVP odds. Now, if the Ravens were to go to San Francisco and win, what does this look like come next Wednesday?
Completely flipped.
Probably. Completely flipped, I would think, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not minus 215 for Lamar. Maybe more like minus 100 or 110 for Lamar and plus 250 for Brock Purdy. But it's about as loud of a, hey, this game is probably going to determine who wins the MVP as you could possibly get. By the way, the third option is Christian McCaffrey, who's at plus 800, which to me, as I keep saying, would say that the first guy can't be the MVP if Christian McCaffrey is the third option. But that's my opinion. That's just a whole. It's a whole. If this was a match race between Lamar and Brock Purdy, but it feels like this is what's at stake on Monday. What's at stake on Monday night is who's going to be the MVP. Other things that are at stake for the Ravens, like if the Dolphins were to lose to the Cowboys, then they could essentially lock up the 1 seed by winning. Not actually, but essentially lock up the 1 seed by winning. So I hate keep coming back to that because I still keep coming back to, but the game doesn't mean all that much, right? It could mean MVP. It could come down to that. All right. You all right?
Me?
Seemed like you wanted to say something.
Nah, I didn't have anything.
I did have Would You Rather Wednesday scenarios. I guess we can try to get to them. Peter Moore is going to...
Would You Rather Thursday, maybe?
No.
Make them holiday themed?
There's zero chance that I'm going to be... None.
Coherent.
Not even this. I'm hoping now that we're not doing the breathalyzer part of it that like I don't have to get bombed the way that I've gotten bombed in the past.
The breathalyzer was putting pressure on you.
Well, it's like you want to show people, like you want to do the show. I would prefer to not get like the part where I wake up and I'm still. Last year, I woke up at 6:00 and I had to have my wife come get me. I still couldn't like function. I would not like to go through that tomorrow. I would prefer a nice nappy poo sounds nice. But like quick nap and then on with my day is what I would like. I would like that. I had a friend come pick me up one year after the drinking show. And literally I just ended up passing out like on his daughter's bed. Like
wow.
Like the idea was you can come back here, maybe we'll just hang out and play some video games or something like that. Nope. Never happened. I don't mind a nappy poo. Big fan.
Me too.
Big fan. But I just don't need it to go all day. I could use like a nice power nap and then continue on with the day from there. That would be the ideal scenario. But we'll see how it plays out. All right. We'll try to get to Would You Rather Wednesday. Peter Moore is going to join us. Calvert Hall alum from Virginia Tech. That's all on the way as we continue along here on a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. Hey Ravens fans, looking for the perfect new game day brew? Get a Guilford, Baltimore's finest craft beer during the next home game at the bank. That's not all. Gather your flock next home game and check out Calvert Hall Brewery's brand new bar, the Gilly Nest, located near Section 505. No tickets? No problem. Enjoy all Ravens games all season long at our restaurant and brewery in Station North. Calvert Hall Brewery, European tradition, Baltimore charm.
Come for a game, stay for everything else. Book an unforgettable fall getaway in Charm City. Enjoy only in Baltimore festivals, mouthwatering eats, and endless entertainment. Treat yourself to a staycation in the heart of downtown, or try one of the city's many charming neighborhood hotels. And don't miss out on packages for free parking, breakfast, and more. Plan your stay at baltimore.org/hotels.
Why bet with the big boys this football season? Instead, try your hand with the local book, Superbook Sports, this fall. Superbook Sports is the book next door. Just a dedicated team of the best odds makers in Las Vegas, making sure you get the best prices and parlays anywhere. And now, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $250 when you sign up and wager on the same day and use the promo code GlennClark23, GLENNCLARK23. So bet with the best and use the promo code GlennClark23 this football season with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
6 chicken tenders made from fresh, never frozen Royal Farms world-famous chicken, a family-sized order of Western fries, honey mustard dipping sauce, and a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's Royal Farms' new Tucker's Tenders Meal. It's Justin Tucker's favorite, and at only $19.99, it'll be your favorite meal, too. The new Tucker's Tenders Meal, available only at Royal Farms. Now you can kick back, relax, and eat like a champion. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Brace yourselves for an unparalleled game day experience at the new Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbook in Canton and Towson. Experience the thrill of live, in-person betting with Baltimore's only state-of-the-art Vegas viewing TV experience. Choose between a person-to-person experience with their on-site tellers or the convenience of their self-bet kiosks to place your bets. Gather your betting buddies and head over to the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks today. Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton, the ultimate destination for game day excitement, great food, and live in-person betting. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Go to mdgamblinghelp.org.
What company has the expertise to make your home healthier by purifying your air and killing all viruses, allergens, and bacteria? A.J. Michaels, Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis. ajmichaels.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Make sure you're tuned in every Tuesday for PressBox Fantasy Football analyst Joe Serpico to get you ready for your Waiver Wire Wednesday, brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. And if you have other fantasies you want fulfilled, subscribe to Glenn and Jeremy Kahn's OnlyFans page at... Wait, are people supposed to know about that?
Hey, speaking of Live Casino and Hotel, Griffin, you want to let us know what's going on over there? And we're running out of time for you to take advantage of this.
We are over at the Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. The FanDuel Sportsbook, the second chance to win drawing is going on. If luck wasn't on your side at a recent bet, we'll get ready to turn those losses into winning opportunities with the second chance to win promotion between now and, as Glenn said, running out of time. January 4th, 2024 is the last time to get in on this. All Live Casino and Hotel Maryland Rewards members will be able to enter their losing bet slips into the second chance to win drum, and then 2 nights a week, 20 different winners will be chosen, with prizes ranging from Live Casino and Hotel Maryland apparel, sports and social, ultimate happy hour, plus cash and free play worth up to $500. Drawings will be held every Thursday and Monday over at the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right. As we continue along on Would You Rather Wednesday, I do have the Would You Rather Wednesday scenarios. You wanna just do this quickly, and then we'll chat with Peter Moore?
We can take our time, yeah.
What do you mean we can take our time?
Well, I don't want to do it quickly. I want to give thought-out answers here.
Nah, these are not that deep. I don't think it requires that much.
Brock Purdy or Lamar?
We're just going to an exhibition because I'm so far behind on this. We're just going to do an exhibition version. I'll put them up on Facebook and Twitter at some point and give you the opportunity to respond. But we're not going to pull a winner this week. Just a lot going on, and I don't want to be unfair to anybody because I'm getting them up late. So just doing an exhibition version of Would You Rather Wednesday. Number 1, Santa Claus brings you a promise that both Ronnie Stanley and Morgan Moses will stay healthy the rest of the year and play at a B+ level. Or
B+.
What? John Colson.
Is he mad at us for?
I don't know. I think it was because he was trying to see if I was festive again.
I was festive. I'm a little festive today too.
Yeah, you're a little festive today. Who is? Oh, St. Nicholas Cage. I see what
Saint
you
Nick.
did there, St. Nick. I
Cage.
like that. That's a solid. I enjoy that a great deal. You stop. Come here. You stopped at the door and looked in.
I wanted to see what you were wearing today. What's wrong with that?
Come here.
What are you wearing today?
So
Just a random.
Was it a cat? I thought it was a wolf at first.
you're
bizarre.
in the holiday spirit. I
Yes.
appreciate
I've been
that.
in the holiday
so
spirit
I look
this
in
week.
to check out and see what you're wearing. I think it's
I
exciting.
just think that your
Fun.
reactions have been odd. That's all. It's been very odd the way that you've reacted
I just
to.
looked at a Christmas shirt with Nick Cage on it. Wouldn't you have a bit of an
No,
odd
I think it's
reaction?
wonderful.
I do too.
Yeah.
That doesn't make
It's
it
not odd.
odd.
It's not odd in any way.
Why
It's
can't odd and
blessings
wonderful be part of the same thing?
It's odd. I tell you what would be odd. It would be odd if he came in today wearing a Thanksgiving shirt. That would be odd.
No,
this
I think
is
Nicolas
wonderful.
Cage
No.
being a bastion of holiday cheer is odd.
A bastion of cheer at all times, I would say. I don't think it just has to be
Snakes
the
on
holidays.
Planes? Wasn't that him?
No, that wasn't Nick
No,
Cage.
that wasn't Nick Cage.
Samuel L. Jackson. What are you?
You're
just
right.
making things up now.
You're right. I thought
He
was
did
in
Con
that.
Air, which was an airplane movie.
That was the one.
Con
That
Air
the
was
one. Con Air.
wonderful.
Con Air.
It was Michael Bay too.
It wasn't a joy movie though.
I mean, I have very joyful feelings about Con Air.
Okay.
Mother Russia. I love Con Air. Con Air was great.
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck.
Joy.
I have some off the beaten path. Face Off to me was a
good
phenomenal motion picture.
Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona.
I
was a
loved Raising
classic.
Arizona.
All right, we good?
He's been in too many movies.
Yeah, we're okay.
Do we have? Does anybody? Are we do? What do I need to do tomorrow? What's the story?
Apparently, you're getting drunk.
Well, I'm gonna. Since we're not doing the breathalyzers this year, I'm hoping that I can maybe.
Still working on that.
Oh, it's not. We're not out.
No,
Yes.
Amanda Krotke. Is
she
hard
still
at,
with the Baltimore?
is hard
she
at
still with the
work.
police?
Yes, is hard at work seeing if we can figure that out. What's wrong with that?
I was just talking about how I kind of like the fact that maybe I could take it easy tomorrow.
Well, you can
without the breath.
You don't have to go too crazy.
I do when you have the
Let's
you
just
want
make Jeremy do it.
Jeremy. I think has to go to work afterwards.
Well,
Jeremy's
he's not
got
really changing anything.
he's got like 6 jobs anymore.
He's not like roofing anymore.
No, but he's got to go over to the Turtle. Like he works there now too.
Not that
No, he can talk about
January
it now.
1st.
No, he can talk about it now.
Oh.
Yeah, deal signed with he announced it like last week. No,
Really?
yeah.
I thought it started January 1st.
He announced it last week. And talked about it on this program on
Interesting.
Monday.
I'll have to start listening.
You should.
I listen a lot.
You should listen.
Come on. Now.
Every I would say 1/10 of what we do is really good. Like 1/10.
I'm going to go with a third.
Oh, I think you're giving us way too much credit
I'm
there.
a
I think it's
huge Glenn Clark Radio
1/10
fan.
of what we do
I
is
really
pretty
am.
good. So you're
Let's
saying
just say the guests are awesome.
every now and then we have some decent guests. Every now and then. I enjoyed talking with Angel Reese yesterday. I thought that was really cool.
I had to text your producer as he was producing a a show
doing
over
Melissa
at the
Kim's
Fan.
show on Friday night.
And he was doing the same thing that
apparently
that Vinny
I was
does.
talking quick.
He was calling the Ravens player Falele.
I was talking quick. I didn't realize I did that, so I'm glad you called me out on it.
And I literally texted him.
Do you know how it's pronounced?
Yeah. Falele.
Falele.
So I texted him the phonetic pronunciation of the player's name, and he thanked me. You thanked me. I'll give you that. Sorry, I just had to bring
No,
that
it's
up
okay.
for Glenn's pleasure.
It's okay.
And he doesn't
And I
do a
felt
lot
like-
of that here.
No, I
There's some there are some elements of Griffin that are Kyle-esque, right? Like
It's an age thing.
it's a deflection thing.
Yeah.
But Kyle's closer to my age than he is to Griffin's
Kyle's an
age, I
early
think.
millennial.
Yeah,
He's Gen
that's
Z.
true.
But there's some similarities.
The deflection, the sleight of hand, the nobody is willing to answer a question
the lack
anymore.
of commitment. My favorite being, my very favorite being saying, hey, Kyle or whomever, can you do this next Saturday for the company?
I should be able to.
I think I might be able to.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't.
And I'm like,
really,
well, can you help me out there? I think
we need an answer. Is the thing. We don't need. I should be able to.
You can say I have to check into it, and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
100%.
That's fine.
It's something I like saying.
Yeah, I think I might be able to do that
today.
Definitely, probably.
I said
probably, definitely.
I said Howard thinks because we're trying to do we're trying to prepare some shtick for tomorrow.
Yeah, probably, definitely.
And I was like, so, and he's like, well, I think we're gonna have. I'm like, what does that mean? I think we're gonna have.
I'll let you know tomorrow.
That's not. That doesn't help. I need to prepare.
I'm working on getting so-and-so. I'll let you know.
Like,
as soon
for
as
example,
I
know Dennis Shackett is coming in to play music for us tomorrow. I don't know when exactly. We gotta work that out.
Should we call
your boy?
We
talked about doing that too. I don't know.
Want him in?
I mean, I'm not saying no. I love David. I love all of it. But like, I kind of want to do something a little bit different.
Okay.
It's not really our tradition. We just had him in last year because he was promoting his book.
Yeah.
I've
just seen him around on all the shows.
Oh, it's every year around this time he goes and does, and I have no issue with that.
I know.
It's not. If somebody asked me, "Hey, David the Boy would like to come in, would you have him in?"
Goose.
Like, then yes, I would of course have him in if he asked to come in. But
there you go.
For me, I like mixing it up a little bit and doing some different things. We had Rob Fahey in one year. I think Dennis is going to come in tomorrow, and
good.
I know Dennis is coming in tomorrow. I just don't know what time Dennis is coming in, but we'll have some tunes there, and
it's going to be fun.
Jeremy and I are going to do our drunk. Tim Barbalace is coming in tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Drew just said he's going to stop by tomorrow. I don't know when, but for better or for worse, we can kick him back out.
Yeah.
You said we'll have some food tomorrow.
We will get some food tomorrow.
We'll have a day. We'll have a lovely little
fun.
day. And you're saying the breathalyzer still might happen.
Might happen. My phone's buzzing right now. It could be.
Boy.
It could be Amanda. Would you like me to check
now?
Check.
So I'm confident that Proctor will have a quiz. It's just I haven't worked with Proctor enough to know how.
Do we? Is Carson coming in?
Carson, I don't think he will be able to.
What does that mean?
Well, do you want me to throw all his business out there right now? I was just going to say. Okay.
Is he supposed to work tomorrow?
He's not getting home until tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll make a difference.
He'll get home.
Sorry, it wasn't Amanda.
Oh no. All right. We don't have a live update there. Well, we're starting at 10:30 tomorrow. By the way, 10:30 is when we're starting tomorrow. I told you that.
Are we allowed to talk about other radio shows and stuff?
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Depends. Are we trashing them?
Yeah.
Which one?
I was listening to Luck and Fora last night.
Oh, is this what we're doing? I do. Both of us work there.
No, I'm not.
Don't.
All I'm saying is I'm shocked at how negative. I'm not as. He's not a bad guy. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm just shocked at how negative many people are about the Ravens.
This is where, and I mean this, right? Because I hear this all the time from people.
And I hear this from a bunch of places, not just Luck and Fora.
And I
listen to that show regularly.
I hate saying this. I don't listen.
Yeah.
So I don't know
That's fair.
to know. The way, it's also a very weird bit to me. Oh, man, I shouldn't go down this road. I'll never understand people that complain about the thing that they listen to. Just don't listen to it. And I mean that, right? Like, if you don't like what we're doing, that's cool. That's cool. I know that I'm not supposed to say that, but it is. If you don't like what we're doing, I'm too old to completely change how I do things.
There's a difference between not liking Elements and not liking something globally. Like, I used to love Letterman, but I didn't like everything he did.
Yeah.
And if I didn't like something, I didn't stop watching Letterman.
The measurement to me was like, I liked about 79% of what Letterman did.
Yeah,
so
I gotcha.
I'm good.
Yeah.
The way people talk about certain things, like that they're clearly taking in the content.
I'm not. That's not what I'm going.
Like, they act like they like 10% of it. I just come back to saying, why? What? There are other things you can do. There's other content.
So let me
available.
rephrase. My real question was, there seems to be an inordinate amount of negativity about the Ravens that I can't wrap my arms around across many press, against many outlets. And I'm not saying that there shouldn't be criticism. I'm not saying issues shouldn't be pointed out. But the level of it seems disproportionate to the level of success to me.
So I would say this is one of the most difficult
things. It's
going
to happen next year, by the way, when the Orioles aren't looking like they're going to win 100 games. People are,
I would say one of the most awful things about media is that people see the shtick that like Fox and ESPN do, and they think they're supposed to be like that. Point. And so one thing is no matter what your opinion is, you can't evolve. You can't change.
Correct.
You have to be. I have a take, and that's the take that I have. And no matter what happens, the way that they operate there is like you're paid to be an actor. You are paid, and I hate it. It's why you'll never get me to watch any of that. I will never watch those shows, ever, because none of it is real. It is all carnival barking.
I agree with that.
And because they see it at the highest level, it has seeped in to that. It is not necessary for any local radio host to act like that. It should be detrimental. The sad part is it's not, right? It should be detrimental to what we do. We should be able to just genuinely have conversation. And guess what? We're wrong constantly. Constantly wrong. Our takes are always wrong. Ken Zales is wrong about wanting John Harbaugh fired.
Agreed.
But he can't break away from it because he made himself that guy, right? Like, and he believes that once you have a take, it has to be your take.
Well, he thinks he'll look like an idiot because,
yeah, right.
I've been wrong the last
17.
I've been wrong the last 11 of the 17 years.
Like, and I love Ken, and Ken knows that I love him. It's insanity to keep talking about how the coach should be fired of a team that's 10-3.
Yeah.
And I get it. As I've said a billion times, I wish he didn't screw up challenges. I wish that. Thank you. I'm sorry. I forget it's the whole thing. I forget that there's 17 games in the season anymore. 11-3. Like, it's badass that you would talk about firing the coach. It's so detached from reality that you might as well say we should blow up the moon. That's how unrealistic what you're talking about is.
It's like if you're for some reason against Lamar because he doesn't have Joe Flacco's arms.
Whatever absurd thing. It's
even though he
utterly
does 20 other
detached from
things
reality.
1,000 times better.
But I love Ken. Everybody knows I love Ken.
Yeah.
I want to say to him, dude, it's okay to say, hey, look, I'm frustrated about him getting the challenges wrong, but obviously he's doing a hell of a job with this. It's okay to say that. You can have that. Our discourse does not just need to be goat and trash. It does not just need to be somebody is the greatest of all time or somebody is the worst of all time. There can be plenty of room in between those things. Lots of it.
And you think that's the base reason for why these people act that way?
I think the base reason for why we talk
–
once I've decided that this isn't a good GM, I think Eric DeCosta had some missteps, right? But overall, now I look around and see Kyle Hamilton and Justin Madubuike and – all of a sudden, I say, "Holy F!"
My
this
favorite
guy's...
was everybody getting on Kyle Hamilton last year about he wasn't much of a draft.
Yeah.
It's like the kid had played 5 games.
100%, and now he's superstar of superstars. Yeah. We are unwilling to evolve or to change our opinion. Everybody knows my opinion when they drafted Lamar Jackson is they had no business drafting another quarterback. Everyone knows. Famously, that was my opinion, which was immediately followed by, "But if you're going to draft a quarterback, you play him and you move on. You don't pussyfoot around with like." We think we need a quarterback, but not to play. Like, if you wanted to keep playing your quarterback, you needed to give your quarterback more help, which you never bothered to do. I can have those opinions, but at some point, obviously I can recognize and say, as clunky as maybe the thought process was, clearly they knew what they were doing with Lamar Jackson.
Well, the litmus test is always if Harbaugh or Eric DeCosta were let go tomorrow, how many teams would take 10 seconds to hire them? And that's the real litmus test.
That always is an awkward thing because, like, you could say the same thing about Mike Tomlin, which doesn't mean that the Pittsburgh Steelers might not need to move on from Mike Tomlin. They might say, like, it's just at this point not working here any longer, right? But to say it about a team that's 11-3 and try to hide, well, they've only won 2 playoff games, like, which is just presented without context. It's presented without the quarterback was hurt for the last 2 years, and they may or may not have won playoff games. It's presented breathlessly as if no one is supposed to be able to go in and have a conversation about it and actually talk about it. I can just win this argument by pointing out this one statistic. That's just not how life works. And again, I get it. We've got the audience we have because I won't have those conversations. Here. It's the whole thing, man.
There's a lot of
if I would just scream and say goat and trash, then maybe we'd have a greater audience. I don't know. But I refuse to bring myself to that level of discourse. I refuse to.
Good. Keep refusing. I agree.
Anything else?
No.
That's why we
do. Why don't you wear festive? Why did you get in the festive spirit? Tomorrow?
I will tomorrow.
All right, I look forward to that. Thank you, John Coles. Appreciate it.
That's why we do serious things like
Would you rather Wednesday. Very serious topic. Completely make-believe. All right. You get Morgan Moses and Ronnie Stanley playing at a B+ level the rest of the year and healthy, or Christmas miracle, Mark Andrews is back starting on Monday night.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. So we're just kind of rolling the dice with how
whatever the tackles
Stanley
end up looking like
and Moses have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
A rotation of Fa'alele and am I doing it right?
Fa'alele, yes.
Fa'alele.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if as long as you make it clear, there's an extra syllable there.
Right.
You're
Okay.
good. I learned Griffin has a syllable problem. We're working on some song lyrics this week, and Griffin added like 2 extra syllables.
Well, I mean, if
same
you say
number
quick,
of words.
it can work.
No,
What?
that's not how it works.
You can make anything work.
Syllables. We had a conversation the other day.
Man, I think it would be pretty good to have Mark Andrews back. So, I mean, like they've been getting by with with the way that Stanley and Moses have been playing, and McHarry coming in and Fa'alele coming in. So yeah, I mean, this team they can survive without Mark Andrews, but they are certainly far, far and away better when Mark Andrews is on the field. So I'll take that. I'll take Mark Andrews.
This one is very difficult for me, and I think that I've decided.
And it's like you're saying they're going to be a B+, which is
right,
good, but
well,
it's not,
I mean, in comparison to what you've been seeing,
when Mark Andrews comes back, you're getting A+ Mark Andrews.
I get that, right?
Assumably,
But if Lamar Jackson's running for his life, I don't know. Yes. Did you leave something in here? Okay. If Lamar Jackson's running for his life, and Isaiah Likely's played really well, right? Like I don't think that the offense has taken the step backwards that I expected it to take without Mark Andrews on the field. This is a tough one. I think I default to the tackles here. I think I default to the tackles on this one. Number 2. Did you see the Chip Kelly rant the other day?
Oh, yeah.
We never really talked about it because it's just sort of a hypothetical, and that's why it fits for Would You Rather Wednesday and not really for conversation. Would you rather college football kind of listens to Chip Kelly, abandons conferences altogether? You play a schedule, you take those top conferences, you take all those teams.
Was he saying do like an East-West kind of thing?
You play a schedule where you play like the bulk of your games are regional games, and then a few games like, let's say there's a 12-game schedule, you'd play 8 games that are regional games, and 4 games from outside of your region.
And when one of those be in that group of 5? He said one of those would be
it would be a non.
5.
And we got to map all of this out,
whatever,
right?
Yeah.
Like we got to map. Well, there's no leagues in his scenario.
Yeah, right.
The leagues are all gone. So let's say you're Maryland. You maybe play Rutgers.
Because we got to keep that rivalry, yeah.
And by the way, I did in this scenario suggest that you would keep a rivalry game. Because I do feel like it's the Trump
will we play West Virginia again?
Like, I don't know. I don't know who it would be. It might be Rutgers. But like in his scenario, maybe you play Rutgers and Syracuse and Pitt and Virginia Tech and West Virginia. Like you'd play regional games, one game earmarked, and it might not be that tight of a region, right? It might be that it's
like Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky, South Carolina.
Alabama would be East, I guess.
Right, like that you mix up your opponents every year, right? Like there's within whatever your designated region is, you play 7 of those teams every year. You play one James Madison. James Madison's really good. One Delaware, now that they're going to jump up to the next level. One Appalachian State, something like that. And then 4 games against teams from like west of the Mississippi. So whoever that would be. And that's what your schedule looks like.
Colorado.
So would you rather take on Chip Kelly's idea, or as clunky as it is, like winning a conference title still matters, let's keep the conferences?
I mean, it's hard to say because, I don't know what it's like to win a football conference title.
I do. It happened in 2001.
It happened in 2001. Okay, yeah, I guess I wasn't around. Yeah, I was a year old.
Yeah.
So, I would want to do Chip Kelly's thing. Like that seems like it seems like in theory it should work. It seems like it would kind of, probably like it seems like it should piss off less people. When you're not leaving, an undefeated conference champion out of it, which I guess shouldn't happen anymore now with a 12-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would also be better for those group of 5 teams. Like now you can have a group of 5 national champion, I guess. Like so the Sun Belt champion has a chance to like win a playoff like series. However maybe they'll do the top 4. Now I guess that would probably create a lot of problems too if they did a top 4. playoffs in the group of
Yeah, it
group
wouldn't
of
work.
six.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would want someone smarter than us to go figure out how to make Chip Kelly's thing work, rather than sticking with this committee approach that we have right now.
I like the idea in theory. I do struggle with, and I mean this, winning a conference championship is really a big deal. And it keeps more teams engaged and invested down the stretch of the season because, like, even if you're an Iowa fan and you know you're not going to the net, like, you still have this, like, thought that maybe we could spring the upset, maybe we could go beat, like, it keeps teams invested even that can't win a national championship. So the idea of getting rid of conference championships, that's tough for me.
Maybe if we...
Because the funny thing being, I like the theory of what Chip Kelly is saying. There's elements of it that I really like. It's just getting rid of the conference part that's tough. I almost would say...
It feels like
create a new conference every year.
Yeah.
Like, every year, say, this is Conference A, Conference B, Conference C, Conference D. I just get that, like, winning Conference A does not feel the same way that winning the Big Ten would feel. So, like, I don't know how you make it work. I'm really caught on this because of it. Because, like, in theory, I think his thought process is sensical. I think college football would do well to, like, the thing where stop having the conferences negotiate separate TV deals, just, like, go in all together and get a TV deal. That makes a lot of sense. Like, what are we doing? Like, that's why the Pac-12 died.
And they need to recognize that football is different. Football's a different thing. Like the
all
Pac-12,
of those
every other
things,
sport
all
should still
of those
exist.
things make sense to me.
Yeah.
But getting rid of the conference championships is a tough part of it for me because I do think that, like, those scenarios make games more relevant. And when you have teams playing, like, Ohio State, Michigan is always relevant because it's Ohio State, Michigan. But this year, we know why it was even more. Because, like, one of those teams was going to
out.
Exactly right. I don't think I can get rid of conference championships. I don't think I can. I think I'm going to have to keep those, and that's I could be talked out of it, and maybe it's just you haven't experienced it. So, like, once you experienced it, you would not miss it. But I can't do it. And number 3, you're going to learn during the course of the Tyus Bowser Show something very disturbing about Tyus Bowser.
Uh-oh. This is not as bad as
Pat Ricard, but
No.
I said
Okay.
it's close. Tyus, thinking it was a normal thing and that, like, everybody would react normally to it, informed us that when he eats spaghetti, he squeezes ranch on top of it.
What? Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to justify this. So
Like, he's got a
maybe
spaghetti noodles,
like sometimes
red sauce,
people put
Parmesan cheese,
ranch on pizza,
just takes the ranch and squeezes the ranch on top of
put
all
maple
of that.
syrup on it.
He's like, it's a Southern thing. I'm like, Tyus, my grandparents lived in Georgia.
He went to Houston.
I spent a
Where is
lot
he
of
from?
time.
Where is he from?
He's from
Houston?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, wait, so what's the question?
Would you rather, for the rest of your life,
No.
anytime you eat pasta,
Nah.
stop? Would you rather, anytime you eat pasta, you have to squeeze ranch on top of it, whatever it is?
Probably not.
So whatever, or you may never eat pasta again.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But I could I could still eat like chicken parmesan without noodles or something, right? Like I can just eat the chicken parm.
I guess, but it feels like cheating, so I think I'm going to say no.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say no.
Are you kidding me?
You can't take a dish that would normally involve pasta and try to get rid of the pasta.
So now when
part
I
of it.
eat chicken parm,
yeah,
I have to put ranch on it, or
yes, I'm going to say anything pasta adjacent.
So essentially, I'd have
So
no
like,
chicken parm in
chicken
my life.
piccata, like something like that. Like you can't just get rid of
Shrimp
the
scampi,
noodles.
yeah.
Anything that would
Shrimp scampi now is ranch on
right.
it.
Yes, all of it. Yeah.
But I could still eat shrimp by itself.
You could just still eat
because
shrimp.
shrimp is
yes.
a dish by
Shrimp
itself. Yeah.
is just fine. But
Man. What is mac and cheese?
that's pasta. Yes. What are you trying to make mac and cheese not be pasta?
No, it's
Macaroni
it's a side.
noodles. Stop.
Okay, so I gotta put ranch on my mac and cheese,
Yes.
or never eat mac and cheese
Or
again.
never have mac and cheese again.
Jeez.
Yeah. Dark.
I don't know. Can I give up Mark Andrews and the offensive line and
no.
just say
no.
now?
No. Answer the question.
God, I don't think there's an answer.
Answer the question
I
for the love
can't-
of God.
I
You got to get
can't-
to Peter Moore.
I don't. I can't. This is.
Answer the question.
I I mean, ranch is just gonna ruin all pasta.
Oh my God, Griffin, just pick one. It's not this deep.
It is.
It's a dumb game.
I guess.
For God's sakes.
I don't know if I could really pass up ever eating a pasta dish again.
Yep, you're Mr. Ranch now moving forward. I don't eat pasta, so I'm fine.
Might have to try
This
it.
would be the best news ever because Mrs. Clark loves to make pasta.
Can I try ranch on pasta first to make sure like it isn't a thing? Like make sure it's not a thing?
Rita suggested that like we should try it, and I said, "What are we gonna just piss off God? Like you want to do that? You want to mess with God that way? Really?" I think I'm gonna go ahead and pass.
Sounds like there's almost certainly nothing there, but like just in case, I don't want to accidentally give up pasta.
I mean, he was almost incredulous that we're gonna hear that in a minute. Maybe we should just do things out of order and hear that now.
Keep making Peter Moore wait,
and then make Peter Moore. What? We pre-recorded with Peter Moore. We're fine. You want to do it in that order?
Without trying the pasta ranch yet, I guess I'll just pass on. I'll have no more pasta in my life, unfortunately.
Let's listen in on segment number 2 of the Tyus Bowser Show. Tyus Bowser Show, of course, is brought to you by A.J. Michaels, Superbook Sports, and HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. We'll be back on the January 2nd. We return to Mother's North Grill in Timonium for the final Tyus Bowser Show of the regular season. Find out more at PressBoxOnline.com/Bowser. It's a partnership of PressBox and Grade 8's memorabilia. One more show to wrap up the regular season on Tuesday, January 2nd. But because, again, we're not going to be here on Friday, so we're going to move things up a little bit, we take a listen to segment number 2 of the Tyus Bowser Show right here on GCR. Welcome back in for segment number 2 of the Tyus Bowser Show. Pressbox and 105.7 The Fan, Glenn and Rita, Tyus and Josh Ross. We are live at the Hamilton Sports Bar and Grill out here on Hartford Road, 5506 Hartford Road, HamiltonSportsBar.com. Rita is a regular. Rita is here, I'd say, basically every week.
Shout out to my lady bartenders. They know they know my food. I come in here, they say, my girl, she know my stuff. She be like, you coming to get the regular? I be like, yep, I'm coming to get the regular.
I saw it. And what is the regular?
I get the salmon. What I get? Boom.
Salmon, rice, and broccoli.
That's my joint.
That's what I just ordered.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite dish here.
Hey, let me know next time you come.
I come here literally once a week. I'm not joking. I come here once a week. Okay, absolutely.
This is the spot. Ugly Sweater Contest this week. It is actually Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Karaoke.
Wednesday.
Crabs.
It's Wednesday.
Sorry, today is Tuesday, isn't it? That's every Wednesday. Not every Wednesday. This Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Karaoke and Crabs every Monday with DJ Chanel B at 7 o'clock. Poker and Spades every Tuesday at 7 o'clock here at the Hamilton Sports Bar and Grill. I thought we might have gotten to a small tiff during the break because you ordered Honey Old Bay wings, but you went ranch instead of blue cheese.
Both of them did. Josh, too.
I'm a ranch guy.
Okay, so Tyus, you just prefer ranch. You're not anti-blue cheese.
Oh, not at all. Like I like blue cheese.
Because the correct answer.
It's not the correct answer.
It's the correct answer.
It's not the correct answer.
This is a cultured conversation.
This is not.
And we just might be realizing that you're not ready for this cultured adult conversation.
That's your opinion. You are entitled to your own opinion. We do live in America.
Answer.
That's your opinion.
Sometimes we do. Josh, are you like afraid of blue cheese?
To be honest, it's just like, what is blue cheese doing for me? Like,
what is it doing?
What is it doing for me?
It's giving you texture. It's giving you life, my friend.
The texture is actually what I don't like, but the flavoring is what I prefer.
It's like chunky.
Yes, but it's cheese. You like cheese, right?
I'm not like cheese. I just feel like ranch with wings is just a better combo. That's me though.
Blue cheese though. I used to be you. I was that person. I was like,
she saw the
ranch only. And then one time they gave me blue cheese by mistake, and I was like, wow, this is the best ranch I ever had. And the lady was like, oh no, that was blue cheese. And I was like, so y'all been telling me I'm late to the party?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, part of me has had that same situation where they didn't have ranches. Like we got the blue cheese, so I'm like, okay. I'm gonna try it out. I'm like, yo, this is good.
And you realize it's better. And
I didn't say it was better. But I said I liked it, and I'm okay with it. They want to give me ranch and blue cheese with my wings. I eat them. I eat it with both.
So I got a question. What's the difference between ranch and blue cheese?
I'm gonna tell you because I'm glad you asked that. Thank you.
Rita's prepared to deliver.
Thank you. I'm gonna tell you the difference. I'm gonna tell you why I don't love.
Rita's like, this is why I went
Ranch
to
is
college.
cool, right? I do like ranch. It's cool, but you know why I don't love ranch? Because when I found out it's just mayo with spices, and I don't really like mayonnaise, I was like, oh, never mind. That's where I stand with that.
I'm gonna be honest. I did not know that.
See?
Yeah. Now, how you feel about yourself?
I didn't know either,
Yeah,
but
how
ranch
you
still
feel about
tastes
yourself?
good. It ain't going nowhere.
Mayo with spices?
I don't love mayonnaise. I
I
like.
like mayonnaise.
I don't. You know, you don't want your sandwich to be dry, so you put mayonnaise
I feel
on
like she
it.
looked right at me when she said mayonnaise because I'm white. I feel like it was. She looked at
But
the
do you
white
like
guy.
mayonnaise?
I actually do not. So now, how do you feel about yourself?
I was not looking at you for that reason. However,
I feel like that you were.
okay. Well, thank you, Glenn, for telling us that you do not like mayonnaise. So, Glenn and I clearly don't like mayonnaise, so that's probably why we favor blue cheese over ranch.
Is the correct answer.
I honestly never knew that, but I mean, I put ranch on literally everything. I mean, that's
Okay, when
I
you
don't know
say
if that's a.
I think that's a southern thing.
That's what I'm saying. I was about to say that's a
Say
southern thing.
literally everything. What do you mean?
Not literally everything, but I mean my spaghetti, my pizza. Yes, I put.
Spaghetti?
Yes.
I
Y'all don't put
know
ranch
about
in y'all spaghetti?
Hmm.
That's wild. Y'all are missing out. That's what you call
On
missing out.
spaghetti?
Yes.
What is it?
Excuse
But
me,
it's
I
just
need
another
security to the table immediately.
These East Coast people, man.
We
y'all
need to
gotta
contact the
open up your horizons.
I don't know if
and
my ranch was spaghetti.
Open up your taste
I don't
buds
know.
to something new.
You know that see something, say something thing?
No.
I need to talk to someone about. You know,
On my spaghetti, everything. Yes.
Spaghetti?
No, wait.
I'm still on the spaghetti.
I can't move on from this.
I'm just amazed at all these reactions right now, and I'm like, this is
You
normal.
know, so here's the thing. I am open to I will eat anything. Okay, I'm one of those people. I will try anything. I'm going to try some spaghetti and put a little bit of ranch on the side.
And it's got you just gotta be light. It ain't even.
Do you mix it in with the spaghetti?
I
Like
do.
mix it like
I
sauce?
with meat
No. It's just like a little topping. How you would normal spaghetti, you might want to put
So
some
instead
cheese
of like
on top.
Parmesan cheese, I put ranch.
No, I put my cheese on there and then I add the ranch on the top of it.
Oh, okay.
So do you add it like with every
I'm
bite?
not adding
With every
it.
bite, or
No,
do you like?
it's like I put a plate of spaghetti, put the cheese on there,
Okay.
and I'll put the ranch on top, and then I just eat it. I'm not getting the sauce.
You are out here in front of God and everyone telling us this. You could.
I'm interested though. I want to try it. I'm gonna try it.
I don't.
Y'all met my mom. She'll tell you the same thing.
Okay. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it and get back to you.
I think it's just a southern thing.
I've been to the
Because
South.
obviously
Never
with
seen a
the
single
obviously with
person
the
put ranch on
reaction.
their spaghetti.
Oh my gosh! Oh, what?
I'm telling you, this might be a worse moment than Pat Ricard.
No.
It's in the.
Nah, nothing worse than him not knowing Outcast. So he said that they were the who let the
Who let
dogs
the
out
dog-
people. That was
the worst.
way
It
off.
was the worst moment.
That's nowhere close.
This was
Nowhere
a rough one,
close.
though. This was a rough one. I don't know how we move on from here. How do we even discuss other topics?
You try it out and then you be like, oh,
I'm gonna
wow,
try
this
it.
actually
I'm gonna
good.
try it and get back to you.
Just how
Do it on-
just how you said with your blue cheese and your ranch and all.
Because
It's
I'm
the same
factually
thing.
correct about
And
this.
I'm feeling the same way about my ranch.
Oh.
Now how you feel?
Nope.
Not good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm reconsidering our friendship. Again.
All right,
I'm
man.
reconsidering.
Hey man, friends come and go.
That's great.
All right, I'm going to attempt to bring this show back together
Yeah.
somehow.
Hey,
I'm
man,
gonna
this
Let's
attempt.
reel
show's
this
been-
back in. Let's reel this back in.
We talked about all the good, obviously, down in Jacksonville. The bummer is Keaton Mitchell gets hurt. And Tyus, because I know you were talking to Keaton and you were trying to get him to come out one of these weeks. For the rest of us in this city, it's one of the coolest stories that we have ever experienced with the Baltimore Ravens because, like, we know his dad well. Like, he's part of the fabric of this. And for it to have played out the way that it did, obviously, Orlando Brown had a similar situation, but there haven't been a lot of them over the years. Beyond just being a good story, dude's a hell of a football player.
Really good football player. Exciting football player.
Yeah.
And I mean, we was in team meetings and they was showing a few plays of him. I think it was one of the screenplays or something like that he had on the sideline and hit him. We was like, man, bro, like you could just hear the reactions of like, man, we missed out. Like we're missing a guy, you know. And it hurts all of us to see that happen. And, unfortunately, it's part of the game, and you just hate it to, happen to a guy like that who's worked so hard to get himself back. Because, he missed part of the season with injury. And I was with him during that time trying to get himself back, and just to see the potential and everything that God has in store for this guy, man. It was going to be an exciting career to see this guy, excel, and it still is. It's just part of the, process, part of that journey of him just trying to, get his name out there, just trying to, figure himself out, get himself situated, and I know it's all going to work out. So I'm praying for the guy and, speedy recovery.
No doubt, man. Look, guys, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just unbelievable, man. What a talent that young man is. Hey, what company has the expertise and technology to make your home substantially more energy efficient, comfortable, and even virus-free? It's AJ Michaels, Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis at ajmichaels.com. Tyus Bowser Show, Press Box 105.7 The Fan. Josh Ross is with us as well. We got to get the MVP campaign moving. We got to get it
Well, I went on Peacock today. I went a brother from another.
If you guys don't know, Rita's a network television star.
It's not true.
Really?
She is.
No.
Tell us about it.
This is the Tyus Bowser Show, not the Rita Show.
Tyus Bowser is asking you.
He is the host of the show.
So I go on Peacock, which is owned by NBC, once a week on a sports show. Michael Smith. Everybody knows Michael Smith. Yeah. He's one of the hosts, and Michael Holley that's in the New England area. So sometimes Michael Smith is not available. They asked me to come on and host the show. So today I was on there, and obviously the conversation was about the NFL MVP, and I made a case for number 8. I felt like he, I think he's getting more talk now, particularly because Dak didn't play that well in the Buffalo game. But ultimately, I personally feel like if the Ravens come out of there, if they win both games, San Francisco and Miami, I don't think we should have a conversation about anybody else. Yeah. And even if you do lose one of those games, we're not going to speak that into existence, obviously, but it depending on how the game is played, and if it's close or whatever, I still feel like Lamar should be the MVP, because most valuable player is about the person that's on the field. And Brock Purdy, while I do think he's done great things, is surrounded by elite talent. And I just don't, not to say that our guys aren't elite, because I think that they are great players.
Nice recovery.
Yeah, no, because I do. But I'm just making the point that, the guys that Brock Purdy has had, and when they've been subtracted from his,
he's not the same dude.
He's not the same dude. So I feel like Lamar should win the MVP. But I don't want to be biased here. People are going to say, oh, you're in the Baltimore area. Do you guys feel? I've got to assume you guys feel like Lamar should be up there in terms of candidacy for MVP.
Definitely. Some of the plays that dude makes on a daily basis with ease, not even thinking. It's just like nobody in the league can do that. And honestly, being around that dude every single day, seeing how he practice, seeing how he plays, seeing how he communicates, seeing how he lead, it's a blessing, because he a once-in-a-lifetime type player.
Tyus, I feel like Rita's explaining one of the struggles that we have, which is that you can look at other guys and say these guys have better numbers, right?
Exactly.
But how do you define, when we talk about valuable, like what he means to this team and what he can do that other human beings just cannot do? Is there a greater word that you can come up with than valuable to describe Lamar Jackson?
No, I think that's the word. Kind of like just what she said. You talk about, like I said, Brock Purdy has played great this entire year. And with the guys he have, it makes his job so much more easier. And you look at us and you see how we use Lamar Jackson. We don't just use him, as far as, facilitating the ball and moving it around, screens and stuff. But we actually have a place for Lamar Jackson to go out there and do what he has to do, And you look at any other quarterback, what other quarterback besides Jalen Hurts are they making a play, a quarterback draw or screen or whatever you want to call it? And you look at a lot of those situations where this past week, trying to get out of stuff like, you seen Brock Purdy getting out of that? No. You looking at Trevor Lawrence getting out of that? No. You looking at a lot of other quarterbacks? Probably the only person, maybe, is maybe Josh Allen. If Mahomes as well. There's no other person that's doing what Lamar Jackson is doing and going out there and making a play out of it. So I mean, those are the things you got to think about. You got to put into play, and along with his numbers, not only run the ball but passing the ball, and not only that, you talk about wins and losses, top in AFC, that counts as well. So those are things that they got to put out there that they got to look at and be like, man, you look at all the numbers, like you said, all the numbers. What about player-wise, the type of player and what he's been able to do for his team to help them get to where he at, to be able to put up those numbers? That's all I got to say.
And to add to the point, too, right, we know what this team looks like when Lamar's not there. And, of course, yes, they went to the playoffs last year. So we know that they're still capable of moving forward. But it is a completely different dynamic when Lamar is not out there, which to me is what is an MVP. When that person is off the field, it's a significant loss.
It shows you the value
of that person. Correct.
Exactly.
Let me have some fun with this one. You put both you guys on the spot. We're gonna vote for team MVP in a couple weeks, and I'm just gonna guess Lamar's gonna win because he's Lamar. So Lamar's no longer eligible. Who would you vote for as team MVP?
Team MVP.
Yeah. You want Josh to go first?
Yeah, Roquan Smith for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Like heartbeat leader. Like I said, the way he carries himself, coming to the building, not only on the field, but like rallying the troops off the field. Like I give it to him for sure.
I either give it to him or I give it to Justin Madubuike. Those two guys really been balling out. And also one I can't forget is Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle.
I mean,
can't forget about Kyle.
Let's talk about both. I was going to do this in segment 3. We'll move some things around. Okay. Those two dudes that you just named, the way they have become superstars this season. I feel like I will start with Madubuike because this is 11 straight games with a sack.
At least a half a sack.
That's bonkers.
That's crazy.
We were joking about it with him earlier, like the Aaron Donald thing, but like that's beyond that. Like that is.
That's a wet dream for all of us. 11 sacks.
And you're a stand-up guy.
In a row?
Right.
Come on now.
This dude, and a defensive tackle.
At defensive tackle.
That's insanity.
It is very close to like what Aaron Donald can do. I mean,
literally.
Seriously. It's a conversation that you put with a guy like that.
Yeah.
That guy's about to be paying for everybody's dinners here in a minute. Like that guy's about to be a type of wealthy that I can't even imagine.
Oh yeah, man, he gonna make some big money, but he deserves it. He's earned it.
He's a monster. Yeah. And then Josh, Kai's brought up Kyle Hamilton. The credit that a lot was made. We didn't know if he was going to play this week, right? Like, and then right out the chute, there he is doing all of it in coverage, TFL. What did I see? He's the only player with double-digit pass breakups and TFLs this season, which is utter insanity. How do you define, because it's not like sacks, we can go and say, hey, this somebody said, how do you define how good Kyle Hamilton is?
Man, that dude he's a freak because not only can he be physical, get in the box and get his hands dirty, but that dude can go to safety. That dude can go from sideline to sideline. He's so long, he's so rangy, he covers so much ground. It's like you can't really put a word for it because he can do so many different things on the field all in one. That dude is ridiculous, and it's a pleasure to see that dude just blossom into like a superstar, and continue to get better. But that dude is ridiculous.
Man. They just don't. Nobody else has one of those dudes.
For real,
it's crazy, man. So let's do this. Let's do a quick. I want to touch on Christmas. Not music. We've done that. We already handled that part. I appreciate it. Y'all missed Tyus singing last week.
You missed it.
That was your chance. That was the one. It's never going to happen again. It took us 3 years to get him to do it once.
Exactly. What song did you sing?
It was,
Let It Snow.
See, he was there.
Yeah,
he was there, so you knew.
My mom said she wasn't here, so you got to do it again.
Oh, man. Should have been there, man. It was. What a time, man. What a time to be alive.
So, best gift you've ever given, best gift you've ever received.
Best gift I've ever given? 'Cause, 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 'cause,
Not to put you on the spot or anything.
You are putting me on the spot right now. You really are.
What about you?
Yeah.
That I received?
Yeah.
I received a few things, but not too many stuff. I would probably say like a journal to be able to kind of just write out my stuff, just journal. Never thought that I would do that.
How long ago was that?
It was like 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody gave me a journal, and it was just during the time, especially, after I tore my Achilles, I was really going through a lot. And it was just one of those things where, just write your stuff out, write out how you feeling, like just don't keep it in. And that's played like a big part as far as me being able to, release stress and things like that. And I'll take it with me whenever I'm off work, whether I'm, running around the monuments or at a game somewhere, or I'm just secluded somewhere. I just take time out just to kind of write out, or if I'm just going through a moment, I'll just sit down, pull out my journal, and I'll just write some stuff. So I thought that was a really cool gift that I was given.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's love.
Yeah.
You got one, Josh? Either way.
I'm thinking over here. I'm thinking.
It can even be back to your child.
That's what I was gonna say. The
best gift I ever got was a Super Nintendo, which is gonna show my age, man. But that morning I walked downstairs, I said, I lost it. I freaked out, man. I've never been that excited in my life.
I'll tell my age while you're thinking about it. I'm about to tell on myself here. But my favorite is a tie. My favorite gifts was one time I got a strawberry shortcake doll. And one time I got and the Cabbage Patch. Shout out to my mama for finding that Cabbage Patch. Because back in the day, they was out here like those Tickle Me Elmos. They was beating people up for the Cabbage Patch.
Wow.
So I had a Cabbage Patch and I had a strawberry shortcake. So I'm definitely telling on myself here.
Yeah, 100%. We showed our age big ways right in that moment. Yeah.
So I'll say back in like 2007, Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great get so little context. My older brother, we 5.5 years apart, James Ross. He used to play the game all the time when I was a kid, and I ain't have a game. He had his game, and I used to watch him play. And I'm like,
he wouldn't let you play his game?
He let me play, but it was under like a condition. Like, okay, if I beat you, you can't play. You can't ask me to play the game no more. Like, just stop. So finally, when it came to day where I can get my own system, I almost shed a tear. I'm not gonna lie to you. I almost shed a tear. It was live.
Did you do the same thing to him? Like, you can't.
He was, man, that dude wasn't worried about me.
He didn't care. Right?
Yeah, he didn't care. He didn't care.
No, but I actually found what my favorite gift was. So I was maybe around 12, 13 years, maybe younger than that. And my stepdad bought me an actual basketball goal. Like a real basketball goal to put in
10-foot?
Put in my front yard. And I used to always be outside just playing basketball, or I'll go to the park. But I remember him like telling me to come outside, and it was like a big box probably from here to maybe this speaker right here. And I'm like, what is this? And they pull off the cover, and it's a basketball goal. I nearly cried, man, because I was like, and I was outside with him.
And you were 12, so you were probably already dunking at that point because...
I was still, I was dunking, doing little windmills like LeBron James out there. But that was definitely a moment I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is amazing. Like, I don't think there's going to be any other Christmas gift better.
And it led you to a path playing basketball for you.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Was a hooper?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was a hooper.
What position?
I played shooting guard. Man.
You played shoot guard?
Yeah.
Word?
I played at Houston for 2 years.
No, that's live. I gotta play you a basketball with you.
Yeah, man. You gotta see what you can.
I can hoop a little, just a little bit.
I'm sure you can.
I got a shot.
I'm sure you can.
Tyus will tell us if you can.
Yeah, come on here and tell us the people.
I'll tell you if you can.
He's told us the people that can't shoot on the team. So
we'll find out, man.
Don't ask Josh Bonds. He beat me a couple times around the world.
Josh Bonds is a good shooter. Yeah, he's a good shooter. Okay.
Don't try to.
All right.
Y'all make some more noise for Tyus Bowser, Josh Ross, please. Hey, Rita and I will be back together on Christmas night. Rita's going out to San Francisco, but she'll be with us for the Project Game Day post-game show. Come join us, Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline. It's all brought to you by AJ Michaels, Superbook Sports, and HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. We come back in, speaking of San Francisco, we'll get ready for the 49ers. That's next. This is the Tyus Bowser Show. So we will have segment number 3 for you tomorrow. And again, you can go watch or listen to the show at PressBoxOnline.com/video or YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline, Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. Griffin, you want to tell everybody what's going on at the Green Turtle today? Or it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow
obviously.
over at
My
the Green
apologies.
Turtle,
Tomorrow.
yes. Over at the Green Turtle on Thursday, every Thursday actually, over at the new Green Turtle Sportsbook in Towson or Canton, you get a $10 free bet. Stop by, get your free $10 bet, watch the game, and enjoy some great Green Turtle food. So if you got any picks that you like on Thursday Night Football, go ahead and head over to the Green Turtle. Make sure you check out the Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton, or both. The ultimate destination for game day excitement, great food, and live in-person betting. Again, a $10 free bet each and every Thursday over at the Green Turtle Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton.
We'll come back in, get a tidbit, get tubular, and talk to Peter Moore as we wind down for a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of GCR.
Brace yourselves for an unparalleled game day experience at the new Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbook in Canton and Towson. Experience the thrill of live in-person betting with Baltimore's only state-of-the-art Vegas viewing TV experience. Choose between a person-to-person experience with their on-site tellers or the convenience of their self-bet kiosks to place your bets. Gather your betting buddies and head over to the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks today. Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton, the ultimate destination for game day excitement, great food, and live in-person betting. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Go to mdgamblinghelp.org.
The latest edition of PressBox is available now, and it's our very special annual Best Of issue. On the cover, we celebrate Orioles manager Brandon Hyde as our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year, and the Orioles as our Team of the Year, with Stan the Fan Charles and Glenn Clark sitting down with Hyde to discuss his role in creating the culture that defined the Orioles' magic season. Also inside, we recognize the top people, performances, and moments of 2023. PressBox is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition as well as the best daily coverage of the Ravens, Terps, and O's at PressBoxOnline.com.
Visit Harford County. Gear up for the holidays by supporting local with Small Business Saturday on November 25th. Take in the dazzling sights of the season with a Ladue Christmas at Ladue Topiary Gardens. Enjoy holiday lights, sing along to holiday songs, reserve a carriage ride, and sit on Santa's lap in Bel Air's Winter Wonderland, happening every Saturday from November 25th until December 16th. Nothing sparks that holiday joy quite like a festive parade. Head to visitharford.com and click on Events to see the full list of parades and so much more. In Maryland, you're welcome.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
There's so much focus on sports betting these days, but I want to talk about an area that nobody wants to gamble on, where you choose to go out and spend your hard-earned dollars to eat. The Costas Inn is no gamble at all. The quality on their menu is outstanding, and the value is off the charts with a great and varied list of specials Monday through Friday. And the staples of the menu, whether it's salads, burgers, fish, they're all fantastic. And I haven't even mentioned the crabs or crab cakes yet. So check out the menu for yourself at CostasInn.com. When choosing a place to dine, never gamble on the food you put in your belly. The Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or call 410-477-1975 for reservations and your steamed crab orders.
6 chicken tenders made from fresh, never frozen Royal Farms world-famous chicken, a family-sized order of Western fries, honey mustard dipping sauce, and a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's Royal Farms' new Tucker's Tenders Meal. It's Justin Tucker's favorite, and at only $19.99, it'll be your favorite meal, too. The new Tucker's Tenders Meal, available only at Royal Farms. Now you can kick back, relax, and eat like a champion. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
Come for a game, stay for everything else. Book an unforgettable fall getaway in Charm City. Enjoy only in Baltimore festivals, mouthwatering eats, and endless entertainment. Treat yourself to a staycation in the heart of downtown, or try one of the city's many charming neighborhood hotels. And don't miss out on packages for free parking, breakfast, and more. Plan your stay at baltimore.org/hotels.
Don't forget about Project Game Day after every Ravens game this season. It's kind of like this show, except Rita's also there, so I actually think think it's pretty good. But hey, you're already here now, so why don't you go ahead and keep listening to GCR?
All right, getting ready to wind down for a Wednesday edition of the program. Today's show is also brought to you by the Stan the Fan Variety Hour, which will be back tonight. Stan the Fan, Marty Conway, the professor, someone we always talk to because he's much smarter than we are and understands a lot more about the world of sports business. They're going to get together with Gary Stein and Stan tonight at 6 o'clock. You can watch it at facebook.com/PressBoxSports, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline. Obviously, the Orioles lease will be a significant part of the discussion. Perhaps rumors about ownership, all those things. Tonight, 6 o'clock. Check that out with Stan the Fan, Gary Stein, and Marty Conway. They're hoping Andy Dolich can be part of it as well, another former executive, but trying to nail that down at the moment. All right, let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you today by, this one's brought to you by our friends at your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. The Toyota Tacoma comes in a range of models and trim lines, so you can choose the perfect Tacoma to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today.
All right, so Ja Morant last night, he became the second player since at least the 2004 season to score more than 30 points and hit a game-winning buzzer beater in his first game of the season. He joins, of course, you want to guess who he joins? It'd be their first game of the season, scoring 30 points and then hitting a buzzer beater to win the game. For any team, yeah. I mean, it's not surprising when I say it, but it is hard to just pull a name out.
That's the part. Like, it could literally
be
anybody.
It was the first game of the 2005 season.
Kobe.
It was Kobe, yes. Well done. Kobe had 33 and then hit a buzzer beater in overtime in the Lakers' first game of the season.
I mean,
so Ja came back.
Sure,
and,
but it's just
maybe he's Ja Morant.
A heck of a way to come back, obviously.
Did you see any of the Celtics?
I don't think basketball was ever a concern with Ja Morant. That's the thing, right? Like, it's like, he's back. Like, he never really went anywhere. He's got other problems.
Yeah,
and
he does.
The question is, are those other problems squared away, or is next week he going to go back to pretending to be a fake gangster, and we're going to be right back to square one with Ja Morant? Like, if Ja Morant can get that side of this together, he's one of the most special players and one of the most. That's the sad part about it. I don't know how many more players were more joyful to watch than Ja Morant, but the other stuff made him less likable and genuinely made you worried about him, right? Like, dude, are you going to end up getting yourself killed in this desire for some sort of street cred? I hope, because from a basketball standpoint, man, it's fun as hell. And last night was a fun night, obviously, between that and the Warriors-Celtics.
Yes.
I did look a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of the Grizzlies game, but I saw a little bit of the Warriors-Celtics game.
The Celtics just looked horrible down the stretch. They've had some really poor possessions and missing like 5 threes, I think, in one, and they missed a layup.
Still Steph Curry,
and Steph Curry's pretty good. Started a new streak, of course, last night of he's currently at 1 consecutive games with a 3-pointer made.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't realize that he had a game without a 3-pointer. I didn't realize.
Yeah, like last week, I think.
Okay.
That broke his, which is the all-time streak, I believe, of 268 consecutive games with a made 3.
Bum. It's over. It's over.
But now he just restarted, so it's good. He's got to go another 269 games now.
I think he's gonna make it.
I saw this one from Paul Hembo on Twitter.
Hang on, 200. How many years would that be? That would be 4.5 years. It's not impossible that Steph Curry could still be
literally just have him come in, play 2 minutes, jack up a 3.
I don't know that he
would
the way that LeBron's played at that age. Like, I don't know that it's impossible that Steph Curry. I'm not suggesting
at a high level,
couldn't still play at a high enough level that he wouldn't be embarrassing himself.
Shaq said he might be the greatest player of all time.
I would have to know the context by which Shaq.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked about this before. In a way, he's the most unique player of all time.
One of the most influential.
Well, certainly that, but like he's. I try to compare it. It's not that I don't take joy in watching LeBron James play basketball. It's just like, look at him.
Right. Yeah.
He's supposed to be doing that.
He's not relatable, really, in any way.
Steph Curry, as much as I'm not like a Warriors fan, and as far as just watching a human do something where you're like, how? I don't know that a superstar basketball player has given me more joy than Steph Curry because it's just so inexplicable. Like, you can't How? And it's not to take anything away from LeBron James or anything away from Shaquille O'Neal or anything away from other guys. Like, but when you're 6'6", when you're 6'7", when you're 6, yeah, okay, this checks out. When you're Steph Curry, not quite so much. And I get it, Steph Curry in most places would be tall. Like, most rooms that Steph Curry walk into in his life, he'd be tall. But he's not really tall. It's just wild. So, yeah, I don't know. Steph Curry thinks
all right, so Hembo shared a tweet. It was that so the 49ers currently, since 1970, they are averaging the third most yards per play in NFL history by any team in a season. So they are currently averaging 6.79 yards per play, which would be the third highest mark ever. And essentially, the top two teams, the MVP, the MVP, or a player from those teams won the MVP that year. So I looked at it in the top 10, in fact. All but one team in the top 10 of yards per play for a season. All but one of those teams had the MVP from that team. So I was trying to figure out how I could make this a tidbit. Would you want to try to name the top 10 essentially offenses in terms of yards per play?
I mean, I can.
And then the MVP, I guess.
But all right.
Or we could do top 5. We could do top 5 here.
So this is the problem: is that you're going to ask me to remember the year, and like that's just never gonna. So I'm going to say the greatest show on
Try
turf
to do.
Rams.
Yes, correct. Rams in 2000.
And Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner was the MVP.
The Chiefs from a few years ago.
Was Marshall Faulk? No, it was. Sorry, Marshall Faulk in 2000.
Faulk won the MVP that year.
In 2000.
Because Warner won an MVP, didn't he?
The following year.
The following year. Okay, so it was Faulk in that.
And then Warner, yes. Okay. And that was they had 6.98 yards per play, the highest or the best offense in that dimension of all time.
The Chiefs from a few years ago?
Yes, the Chiefs from 2018.
Yeah, with Mahomes.
6.84 yards per play. Mahomes did win MVP. And then the Niners are third.
Okay, then the year that Drew Brees won MVP, the Saints?
So Drew Brees did not win MVP that year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who won MVP that year?
Aaron Rodgers was the 2011 MVP. So when did Brees win? Did Brees not win an MVP?
I could have sworn he won an MVP. Maybe
Brees did not win an MVP.
Wow, I thought he won an MVP. I would have.
So Aaron Rodgers, the Saints are the fourth best offense of all time since 1970, with 6.69 yards per play in 2011, and those Green Bay Packers would round out the top 10. That Aaron Rodgers did win the MVP with the 2011 Green Bay Packers.
All right.
Try to round out the top 5.
Who's the other one? The Colts. Peyton Manning MVP year.
Correct. Yeah. 2004.
Yeah.
2004. The Colts and Peyton Manning. Sixth on the list.
That wasn't the year he split MVP, was it?
No, the year he split MVP was the year before.
Okay.
With Steve McNair.
Yeah.
Sixth on the list was in the past decade.
Sixth on the list was in the past decade. It was. Was it the 2019 Ravens?
It was not the 2019 Ravens. Where were the Ravens? The Ravens are not. I'm not sure.
I mean, like, look, they didn't throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I thought that was going to be the wild card here. That you were going to like laugh at me afterwards. Like, ha, stupid. I don't know.
He won MVP, not the Super Bowl in 2016.
Won MVP and not the Super Bowl. Oh, Matt Ryan, the Falcons.
Matt Ryan and the Falcons.
Yeah.
2016 Falcons, 6.69 yards per play, 6th on this list. Then the greatest show on turf, 2001 Rams, are 7th on the list. And then 8th on the list, it is this year's Miami Dolphins, currently averaging 6.63 yards per play.
Hopefully they don't do it against good teams. Hopefully they continue to.
Then 9th on the list is the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers in 2011. 10th on the list. Different, not the same like team, but a team that we've already named.
Oh, but it's just in a different year.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
The 84 Dolphins.
84
Dolphins. Those are your top offenses. Was that okay? Everyone?
No, that was good. That was good. Yeah, we gotta go. We still have Peter Moore, right? All right, very good. Tubular, I don't need to give a sponsor to because I've done all the sponsors. I'm good. Tubular is brought to you by me, Glenn. I'm great, aren't I? Tonight, UMBC's at Iowa, 7 o'clock. That's on Big Ten Network. LSU meeting the Coppin women, 6 o'clock. Game's sold out, but you can watch it on ESPN+. James Madison and the Maryland women, 2 o'clock on Big Ten Network+. Mount St. Mary's is at Georgia at 7. That's also on ESPN+.
There's a lot of good college hoops tonight, isn't there?
There are some good college hoops, yes. On ESPN, Baylor and Duke, 7 o'clock from Madison Square Garden. North Carolina and Oklahoma at 9 o'clock from Charlotte. Alabama and Arizona at 11 from Phoenix, whatever that event is. Northwestern plays Arizona State at 8 o'clock on ESPN2. Big East hoops on FS1. Xavier St. John's at 7. Villanova Creighton at 9. CBS Sports Network for UConn Seton Hall at 7. I guess there's no bowl game tonight.
Yeah, there's no bowl game. I don't know why.
It used to be there was a game every day except for Sunday.
It's probably because of the Survivor Season 45 finale,
I guess.
They don't want to compete.
Yeah. TNT and Monumental for Islanders Capitals at 7:30. Then TNT for Kraken Kings at 10. NBA TV T-Wolves Sixers at 7. Celtics Kings at 10. TBS for AEW Dynamite at 8. Non-sports?
Non-sport. Core Survivor. John Hamm and Glenn Powell will be on Jimmy Fallon tonight.
Glenn Powell from Top Gun?
Yes, Top Gun. He is in Anyone But You with Sydney Sweeney.
All right.
That movie looks good. I want to see it. Seth Meyers is going to have Adam Driver and Fred Armisen. It is the season finale of The Masked Singer. And okay, so
I got to be honest with you. I don't need to take any time to talk about this. I shouldn't, but my God. They are running a promo for The Masked Singer, which I know because I've been catching up on the MasterChef holiday thing. So I'm 3 episodes. I got 1 more to go.
They're just force-feeding Masked Singer ads.
It is so embarrassing for Ken Jeong, who's like in this promo crying like to whatever D-level celebrity is on this show. Thank you for sharing your gift with us. Like this was so monumentally like there is nothing lamer than The Masked Singer, and they're like, the sales that they're doing for this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. It's just so embarrassing.
Gotta check out Snake Oil with David Spade. One
I'm good. I'm good.
So Maestro, the Bradley Cooper movie, that is actually that's on Netflix today.
Oh, okay.
Maestro's out today. Leonard Bernstein and Felicia Cohn is the story that's about. Okay. And then on Disney Plus, Percy Jackson and the Olympians series premiere. They made Percy Jackson into a TV show.
I thought nobody liked the movies.
Well, this is what they're saying, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, this should have been a TV show from the start."
Okay.
So everyone's excited about it. I mean, it looks good. It looks well done. So those are that is it. That is it on
Very good. Very good. All right. Thanks today to Drew Forrester and Chris Sherrar for joining us from Helping Up. Thanks to Donte Whitner, and thanks to Peter Moore, who you're about to hear from Virginia Tech and Calvert Hall. We'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the
Oh, my God. It's so good.
tab at glennclarkradio.com. Tomorrow, our big holiday spectacular. Jeremy will be here. Tim Barbalace is coming by. Drew says he's stopping by. Dennis Shockett's going to play some tunes for us. Griffin's eating a panettone. We're doing don't forget, we got the Malort cookies we're going to try. And there was something that I was going to do for tomorrow. Oh, we're doing the song. We're doing
Fairy Tale of Baltimore.
Yeah, Fairy Tale of Baltimore. I got to remember to go through and make sure that Jeremy's listening to the song. I wonder if Dennis will play along. I was just doing an instrumental in the background. I wonder if Dennis, that's a tough one. I don't think just a single guitar could handle the background accompaniment for Fairy Tale of New York. It's just going to be a silly, fun day. So I hope you enjoy that.
Picks, I guess, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got to do picks tomorrow. Piss. We got too much. And what's his face from Auburn?
Yes, Jalen McLeod.
Jalen McLeod. He's a D.C. guy, wanted to go to Maryland. Maryland didn't want him, and now he's going to try to extract his revenge
on Maryland
in the Music City Bowl. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Live Casino and Hotel, Mother's North Grill, A.J. Michaels, Guilford Hall Brewery, Royal Farms, Costas Inn, Superbook Sports, Harford County, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin, at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Wednesday evening. Go Maryland women, go UMBC hoops, go Coppin women, and we like Angel Reese, too. Duke sucks. We wrap up today's show. Had to do this a little bit earlier on, but Peter Moore, Calvert Hall's own Virginia Tech punter, perhaps future NFL punter, ahead of the Military Bowl next week right here on GCR. Well, coming up next Wednesday, the Military Bowl in Annapolis, Virginia Tech taking on Tulane. We had the chance to meet our next guest a couple years ago as they were getting ready to face Maryland in a bowl game, and now he gets to come home and punt pretty close to where he grew up. He is a Calvert Hall alum and Virginia Tech punter. He is Mr. Peter Moore, and he's with us here on GCR again. Peter, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to catch up, man. Happy holidays to you. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Thank you for having me on.
Man, it's good to chat with you. I wonder if, maybe the reaction from some of your teammates wasn't quite as, amped up about the idea of playing in Annapolis, but I'm guessing perhaps you were maybe a little bit more excited than other guys in the room were.
I was definitely excited just to get the opportunity to play in front of all my family, all my friends back home. It's just really special. So it's definitely a little bit more special to me compared to other guys on the team.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for the game.
What does this mean to you, right? I again, knowing that you haven't been extraordinarily far away playing down in Blacksburg. It's not like, guys that go out and play at Texas or something like that. But with everybody being back home for the holidays, I'm guessing you've probably heard from a bunch of people who are going to come to the game. How much does it mean to you personally to be able to do this?
Yeah, it means a lot to me, just especially because a lot of people can't get down to Virginia Tech to watch me play. So just to have some family members that haven't been down to Blacksburg yet, some friends also, just to be able to see that game is going to be really special to me.
It's going to be really cool and a neat moment for you and your family, I have no doubt, next Wednesday here in Annapolis. All right, Peter, let's work our way back because I don't know that everybody remembers the last time you were on with us. I remember being touched by you talking about the impact that watching Sam Cook had on you and your direction and becoming a punter. Because, I think as we talked about then, I don't feel like most guys stand around at the age of 14 probably a little bit younger than that and say, punting, that's the path for me. That's what I'm going to do. Can you remind everybody of what your path was to punting, to why that became the thing for you, and a little bit about the impact that Sam Cook, watching him, had on your direction?
Yeah, so I started with a huge soccer background. My whole family played soccer. My dad coached soccer. So I just kind of grew up playing soccer, and then about 7th grade, my friends back home just told me I should join the team as a kicker, the football team, and try it out. So I started kicking a little bit, and then when I got into high school, I started training with Coach Kirk Maggio in Baltimore, and he really got me into more of the punting side. And then I started watching and paying close attention to Sam Cook, and I just got really hooked on punting and didn't really want to kick anymore. And that's kind of how I shifted into punting.
Of course, Kirk Maggio, the father of Dom Maggio, another Calvert Hall guy, and who punted at Wake Forest and a little bit in the NFL. When you got into it, Peter, was it like one of those things where, hey, I'm doing this, but I don't know, man, who knows where it takes me? Was there a moment where it stuck out for you, I can keep doing this? This might be something maybe I could do for, a professional career?
Yeah, so I've been training with Coach Maggio, and he was telling me about what kind of track I was on, and he was confident in me. And then I went to some poles kicking camps just to compete with other guys nationally. And specifically, I went to one in Orlando. It's called the Underclassmen Challenge. And I competed with a bunch of different guys in my class, and I finished second in the camp, won a bunch of the competitions, and got ranked in the top 5 in the country. And that's when I kind of realized that I could do this a lot further than the high school level and maybe play professionally at one time. So it was definitely those camps that kind of made it stick out to me that I could do this in the future.
Peter Moore is with us from Virginia Tech, of course, Calvert Hall alum, getting ready for the Military Bowl next week in Annapolis. All right, so I guess we got to get to the money questions, right? What's the furthest? And I'm sure you're not measuring everything when you're just messing around on a field somewhere, but what do you believe is the furthest that you've ever punted a football?
I think the furthest I've ever punted a football from the line of scrimmage in the air, no bounce, was 73 yards.
Okay, that's pretty impressive, right? Okay, do you know? Is it like a baseball thing? Baseball players, when they connect, they know, right? Do you have a similar feeling as a punter? When you got the best of one, do you immediately have something go through your body, like an endorphin rush of some sort?
Yes, absolutely. Every time I hit a ball, I know exactly what direction it's going. I know what it's going to look like. I could do it with my eyes closed and know it just based off feel, just off of all the repetition I've done. I know I know when I've hit one perfect. I know when I haven't hit one as good. So there's definitely a feeling that I get where I can kind of tell.
Do you have one like that you remember significant? I know this again because the average person, this is going to sound silly, right? Like a special punt, what would that be? But do you have one, whether it was game circumstance or the nature of the punt, that during your career you're like, dude, that might have been the best thing that I've ever done as a punter?
There was a punt against Notre Dame 2 years ago, the 2021 season, that I hit. I think it was in the third quarter of the game, and I connected on it. I think it went 65 in the air.
Okay.
I remember when I hit it, it was like that was a different. I just got a hold of it.
Like you hear like music in your ears, like it's like a scene out of a movie, and everybody else is on the field like, dude, it was a punt. You're like, yeah, but you don't understand. I'm a punter. Like that's what I do. It's exciting, man. That's dope, bro. I love that. Peter, it's funny too because I feel like we've seen with like the rise of Pat McAfee, sort of the rise of appreciation of punters and like the for the brand type of stuff. Have you felt more love in recent years as a punter because of the prominence of a former punter?
Yes, I think Pat has really brought attention to the punting game. And I think before Pat started on College Game Day and with his podcast and all that stuff with the For the Brand, I think that people didn't really appreciate it as much. And I think now because of him, people watch punting more. And I think that there's people here that appreciate me because they've watched Pat and they've kind of heard about punting.
It's cool.
Through that.
That's cool, man. Peter Moore, Calvert Hall Zone, with us here on GCR. All right, Peter, you got the opportunity to do something special this season and wear number 25 down at Virginia Tech. And I did not know what this was all about. I was not familiar with the tradition. Can you explain to people what it means to wear number 25 for a game at Virginia Tech and why it was a big deal for you to get that opportunity?
So number 25 at Virginia Tech it's Coach Beamer's number. It's the number he wore. And obviously Coach Beamer had huge success in special teams as a coach here. And to get to wear that number, it really means a lot to me because it's representing his legacy. It's representing all the great kickers, punters, long snappers, punt returners, kick returners, all those guys that played on special teams before me and carried on Coach Beamer's legacy. It's just really special to get to wear that number and represent something bigger than myself.
What about the fact that, like, you were and again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm diminishing the role of a punter, but, again, you are a punter, right? Like, that you were chosen to do that and what it says about you and what you mean to the team, what you mean to Virginia Tech, how significant was that feeling?
Yeah, it's really significant because it tells me that people value me and the coaching staff believes in me and my teammates believe in me and they understand how important I am to the team's success.
It's cool, man. I think it's a really, really cool thing. So now you're coming to play in Annapolis, very close to home. Do you maybe like go into the meetings? I mean, this is a bowl game we're talking about, right? Like I know you want to win it, but do you go into the meetings and say something like, "Hey, if there was ever a time to pull out the fake punt and let me throw a bomb, this has to be the game where you let me do it," right?
Well, last bowl game, I converted a fake against Maryland with a little run to the left. So we'll see. Maybe we'll draw something up. I don't want to give it.
I get it. You don't want to let Tulane know what you're doing. But come on, man. Like, this has got to be the moment to pull everything out. Like, line you up in the backfield on an offensive play for this game, right? Like, you got to be campaigning.
It would be the perfect game to run a fake in front of the hometown crowd.
Dude, the place would go nuts. I mean, it would go absolutely batty if you got the opportunity to do something like that. And then as you move along, Peter, as you've gotten deeper into your career, I mentioned earlier the opportunity to do this professionally. Have you gotten a feel for how close you might be, what you still need to work on? It's easier for us at like other positions to look at players and say, oh, this guy, runs this speed. We know that can translate to the next level. Do you have a feel for what the difference is still for you to make sure that when you come out, you're ready to have a career in the NFL?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing at this point is directional punting, just making sure that I'm punting the ball in the right spot. I think I'm really close on a lot of things for being ready to go for the next level. I think my hang time and my distance on my punts is at that level. I think I just need to improve directionally, and that's really the one thing that I'm going to be focusing on to get to the next level.
All right. The coolest thing that you're going to is there any – I don't even know if you guys are going to have the time during the week, but is there anything about Annapolis in particular that, like, you want people to experience, you want to tell your teammates, your friends about?
Well, I want guys to get the giant milkshake at Chicken Roost Deli.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty important for me. I always love doing that. That's always really fun. Might not be the best idea right before
a game, yeah.
Yeah, maybe earlier on in the week that might be a better day to do it.
I don't know that anybody gets to bring like their girls up with them because I feel like the Snowflake Alley thing, it's like something you do with a girl. Like it's not really like a thing for the boys to go over and check out Snowflake Alley, is it?
No, definitely something you do with a girl.
Yeah, right. More of a like. I mean, I guess it'd be nice. You guys could have fun with it and like do fake pose pictures and have fun with that. But obviously, far more. It's supposed to be a romantic thing to make a stop at Snowflake Alley while you are in town during the Christmas season. Peter Moore, it's so cool, man, that you get to do this. I mean, it's just really, really a cool thing that you get to do during the course of your career. Let's remind everybody. Social media-wise, Instagram, it's Pete Moore 18, correct?
Right.
And then what about on Twitter?
Twitter is More Pete 18.
More Pete 18. Peter, congratulations on all the success you're continuing to find at Virginia Tech, man. Looking forward to having you back here in Annapolis next week, and what a cool story that is. And we'll continue to be in touch. Best of luck. Thanks for taking the time for us, as always.